最近おじいちゃんいるから違うけど久しぶりにバイブスあげてこう嬉しそうできるスイカ
How's it going, y'all, and welcome to Castaway Anime, your favorite anime podcast. As always, I'm Neon Manta.
And I'm Crunchy Bagels.
And we're very glad that y'all joined us on this episode number 110 of the podcast. Today's Catch of the Day features Dandadan episodes 6 through 9 and Mecha-Ude episodes 6 through 9. If you enjoy the podcast and want to hear more of our objectively correct takes, registered trademark, then be sure to subscribe to Castaway Anime here on YouTube and follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode of the best anime podcast. Crunchy, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas just a week away. Christmas. I'm so excited about this information, guys.
What are you doing for the holidays, Mr. Bagels?
I'ma be real with you. Fuck all. Actually, that's not true. I think I'm gonna end up going to my grandma's house, is what I was told today by not my parents, but I think my aunt had told me. So we'll see about that. So I guess we're doing something, but up until today, I believed we were doing basically nothing.
Is that what you usually do during the holidays?
I mean, we're gonna obviously, have Christmas, but leading up to that point, no, not much. I mean, we used to do more stuff, but when you live in the middle of nowhere, like, okay, I'm not sure how much I should say because I might accidentally dox myself. My town did things for Christmas back when I lived in one. And so we would do some of those things or things relating to that. But now that we live literally in the middle of nowhere, there's like not much to do outside of the house.
Well, for Christmas, my girlfriend got me a Disney annual pass, and I'm a theme park person now. Against my will. I had no say in this changing of my lifestyle, but I have now gone to theme parks more in the past month than I have my entire rest of my life combined.
Yeah, how do you feel going to all those theme parks when you could be at home working on the video you said you were gonna get out this year? Huh,
Hey,
Neon? When's that happening?
I did. I put out a YouTube short for 60 seconds long.
Shorts don't count.
Talking about who's going to win and cover either individual games in Week 11 of the
videos.
NFL football season.
Filth. They are Neon. There's still how many days are there left of the year? There's like 13, I think it is. You still have time.
I am on vacation, so if there were ever a time for me to hunker down.
Oh yeah, you're on vacation, dude. Make it right now.
I could.
You have all day.
I'd say I'm on vacation, but the reason I took off for vacation right now is because CEO Taku is this weekend.
How much time will that take?
I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Is that an all day thing?
Yes.
Zam. Well, I'm getting on to you about, hey, there's only so much of the month left, you can make a video with that time. I tried and failed to make a short video this month. I think it went through like 6 concepts, and they all fell through.
How could they have all fallen through? How could you? There's no. You used to make short videos. There's no way you forgot that the Nyan Neko Sugar Girl video has traumatized you so much that you are now physically incapable of performing to make a short video.
Well, see, it's harder to come up with like good ideas with, research projects, because sometimes I would research something for a day and then realize, wait, this is a fucking rabbit hole. I could spend like a month making a 2-hour video on this. That was one of the projects, so I'm not going to mention what that is because it's such a good story. I can already tell from the day of research I did on it. So I'm filing that one away. Others just fell through for various reasons. There's some voice crack. There's some I still want to do, but that I just don't have the resources to do. And also another element of this, the point of trying to make a short video was to get it out before the end of the month. And now that we're basically near, well, most of the way there to the end of the month, I'm also out of ideas for videos that I can make in that amount of time. Yeah,
Uh,
there's a few. It's not that all of the ideas are impossible to do. Like most of them, I still do want to do, which is why I'm being vague. You know, one of them because I made a mock-up thumbnail for that, but I realized that it's a bit harder than I expected it to be, so I'm putting that off for the time being.
oof.
I would go into specifics, but I don't want to spoil it for the podcast.
There's still gotta be something that you could do. I mean, hey, fuck you, it's January's coming up soon, so that's your 1 month to be like, oh shit, I'm like guaranteed to make less money this month. That means I can make whatever video.
Yeah, true. I just remembered that that's a thing. Maybe I should wait for the big video I'm working on until February, come to think of it.
Yeah, that's. I thought you would have remembered that. That's why, like, if you can't think of a short video to get out now, you can focus on Crunchy. The time is now. Now more than ever. The Pets Dogs 2 video. It can come out in January.
I don't want to put that out, even though God, that video would be easy to make because it's just a review. There's no like research element to it. It would be long, but it wouldn't take that much effort to edit. The problem is that Neon, you're not thinking about this from a marketing perspective, right? Imagine you're a new subscriber to the Crunchy Bagels channel. You're like, this guy does anime, I don't give a shit. But this guy also does like internet research projects, right? It's really cool. I'm gonna subscribe for that. And then I immediately make a video about a video game no one cares about. And then you like lose all interest in the channel because it's like, what the hell is this? What is this?
Then you have to market it so that way they're like, oh, wait a second, this video might be kind of peak actually.
See, I've thought about that. I literally do not know how. I literally do not have a marketing plan for a Pets Dogs 2
the craziest
video.
Wii game you've never heard of.
Okay, but what would imagine a thumbnail for that? What the fuck would the thumbnail for that be? It's a game about dogs. I don't think there's any like screenshot from the game that's insane enough to actually match that thumbnail. Like at most,
that's the trick. You don't take a screenshot
hat.
from the game. You get a custom art design of like you holding
Look, Alpharad can get away with that. I don't think I can. Every time I've used a custom artwork,
if he can get away with it, you can get away with it. Everyone gets away with it, Crunchy.
No. Alpharad is like an established brand. It's like an actual proven thing. According to MatPat, who I trust, a proven thing that using official art from things tends to get it more views. Alpharad has like a consistent brand, so he can get away with it. Because, you know, you look at an Alpharad thumbnail and immediately know it's his work. I'm not sure if I can do that. Yeah,
it's not just him that does that, though.
It doesn't. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't fit in with all my other thumbnails. And so people who are, you know, used to seeing my style of thumbnail are gonna be like, "What's this? It's unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar."
The VTuber thumbnail is unfamiliar from your other styles.
It's not that unfamiliar though. It's just like way cringer than my usual stuff. So it's. But the other VTuber thumbnail was actually within my general style.
And what about the Zarigoto V3?
No one watched that.
Yeah, I mean,
literally no one watched that.
Okay, well, not a lot of people.
2,000 views isn't gonna pay bills, Neon.
It's not, but I'm still saying it's not unheard of.
It's not unheard of.
What about the Zarigoto V1, right, the V1 thumbnail? Or
it's not drawn. V2?
Oh, this book lies to your face. I can't remember because you changed the fucking title.
I tried in a last ditch effort to get it views, but I don't think it's meant to be.
No, it had its time in the sun.
It didn't have any time in the sun. It got 4,000 views.
I mean, it's knocking on the door to 5,000.
5,000 views isn't gonna pay bills, Neon. I don't think you understand. I need it to be a career. I need every video to be a banger.
I feel like if you expect if you keep pumping out videos like that and expecting every single one to be a banger, only for them to not always be a banger.
Okay, but I'm not going to self-sabotage. I'm not going to put out a video I know won't get views, or that I have 90% certainty won't pop off in the algorithm. I'm going to stack the deck in my favor. Like, I need to play to win. I've been playing for artistic fulfillment for like a year and a half now.
If you really
I mean,
wanted to stack the deck in your favor, you would have made the every blank ranked any kind of video.
I
Like
know
that
you're
a
like
while
really
ago.
set on that. I know you're really set on it. I don't think it's nearly as sure of a bet as you think it is. It's not like an instant get views now button. I swear to God it isn't. It doesn't like reviewing every single thing from a studio will not like automatically get those, because once again it doesn't fit in with my other videos. It's going to confuse existing subscribers. You got to think about it logically, Neon. And that's also
I'm
another
just
reason
saying
why
the
a lot
Nyan
of the
Neko Sugar Girl
videos...
video didn't exactly gel with your other past videos.
Yeah, but it also... Well, that's why like 1% of the views are from existing subscribers, if that. And it and some of those are added on to by the fact that people subscribed when they watched the video. So clearly, like, not... Oh, and also I've been
you
bleeding
betrayed your
patrons
original audience,
since
Crunchy.
I put that video out. So clearly my existing subs didn't gravitate towards it, Neon. Like, you're saying it didn't mesh with my current style. Yeah, it didn't at the time I put it out. And I suffered in some ways because of it. And so I can't, like, just do it again and alienate
I'm
those
just saying
fans.
there has to be some kind of middle ground between this newfound
There-
audience and
There
your
probably is.
your pre-established audience of like what was your sub count before the Nyan Neko Sugar Girl video came out? Like
It
7,500?
was yes, like 7,500 just about.
Okay, that's like nearly half of your sub base.
Yeah, half. That means I got half of my subs from the new content, and it's only been 2 videos. I think that's pretty successful.
That is pretty successful.
Like,
I'm just saying, don't
I
neglect
think-
your other
okay.
50%.
I don't give a shit about the other 50%. They can go fuck
you
themselves.
hear that? You hear that? You 7,500 other subscribers of the Crunchy Bagels channel.
All right. I know we're
Those of
getting
you
really
are watching
deep
this
into
are
the weeds
probably
here.
50 at most.
Look, I know we're getting really deep into the weeds here. I think this is my game theory. I think that AnyTube, it's not dead, but it is extremely hard to get a consistent following off of. I think it is not a risk worth taking. I think documentary stuff is way more general, will allow me way more creative freedom. It'll allow me to tell stories. It's like a way broader audience, way more likely to succeed financially. And I can always just make a documentary style video on an anime at some point. And maybe it'll be a bad idea
that could be
business-wise.
the middle ground.
Yeah, those can be the middle ground occasionally, but I can't like spec into that. I'm not going to do just documentary style videos on anime. It needs to be like
Didn't
I've
you
run out
literally
of
tell me that
topics.
Kenny Lauderdale was like your dream? If you could start over and be like a dream YouTuber, that would be like your ideal goal.
I said that would be my ideal AnyTuber. That's how I would like to be an AnyTuber. My ideal YouTuber would actually be Summoning Salt. I think he has a really good gig going. Like, I'm not even into speedruns, and I can see how that would be, like, the best fucking job ever. But yeah, like, Dream AnyTuber would be a Kenny Lauderdale type thing, where I just watch a bunch of old anime. But Kenny Lauderdale already filled that niche. I can't just be another Kenny Lauderdale. Kenny Lauderdale already exists, and does his thing well, I assume. I've only seen a few of his videos.
See, that's the one thing of your YouTube analysis that I've never been able to get behind, and I've seen other people in your server agree with me. You are like oh man, this guy's cake is bigger than mine, and you're never like, holy shit, 2 cakes.
I don't know what you're getting at with that, because I'm saying that the market already has like a figure to it, and that just doing his thing will make it like invariably more difficult to gain subs. Like, I will be, just, I mean, granted, like, I won't just be a knockoff of his thing, but I guess what I'm getting at more so is that AnyTube like, generally, almost all of it is just current shit, and I don't want to be trapped by that. And there is almost certainly a way to make it work, but I don't think that way to make it work is worth pursuing in light of the more creatively fulfilling, more likely to succeed option of making general like documentary style stuff that can, have certain anime videos in it if I were to decide to.
I'm just saying, man, Kenny Lauderdale, like he is like the retro anime guy, but you also have to understand, like he's kind of like the only retro anime guy, and even then, you want to know the last video he put out? It was 8 months ago. The one before that, 2 years ago. There is definitely a niche to still be filled if this is the kind of thing
But
you wanted to do.
it's a small niche. I'm not sure if that can be a career, And also, I would have to try really hard to establish that after my existing pool of content, which would probably alienate most of my existing fans. Because most of my subs, I'd say about 5,000 of that 7,500 came for current seasonal shit. And so retro anime isn't going to appeal to them. And so I'm just, if I switch to like retro or even general anime stuff, I am appealing to the 2000s, the Zaregoto fans, the people who liked my Licorice Recoil analysis or my Call of the Night video. Which granted, that one did decent numbers, but nothing compared to the seasonal shit, nothing compared to the Nyan Neko Sugar Girls video. I just don't think it's a smart business decision to hope and pray that my generalized anime content that would be more creatively fulfilling would actually pop off. And I need it to be a career, Neon. Like, I need that. Really
I can't go
badly.
back to the gas station, Neon.
I can't, Neon.
I can't go back to societal part-time jobs. I am above that.
I hate it.
Listen, man, I wasn't exactly thrilled working at a bowling alley for 4 years, but sometimes you gotta grind a little bit to get to where the good life. Now, look at me now. I worked at a bowling alley for 4 years, and now I'm working at my literal dream job of working at a news station where I get to dick around for 3 hours on my phone of an 8-hour shift every night, where I'm completely by myself.
That does sound like the dream. Like, I am jealous of your job, but also, how many YouTube videos have you gotten out, Neon? Hey, I'm just saying.
I mean, not for nothing. I was still able to do the podcast the whole time.
True.
It's also, having now a girlfriend at the same time has definitely dragged me away from both the podcast and any attempt to make a video.
Neon, every time you tell me that your girlfriend is, like, making you go on a trip with her, I just think to myself, man, I really shouldn't get a girlfriend, huh? That sounds really fucking annoying when I have a pressing video to work on.
Well, you have the excuse of it being like, sorry, babe, I can't hang out right now. I'm technically doing the closest thing I have to a job right now. And if I don't work on it for a set amount of time, it'll be like I am losing money. Whereas for me, it's like, the podcast isn't making any money. It's more of a hobby thing until it finally crosses into the venture of making money. And, my work will always come first, the job. But now it's just like free time is a significant portion of my free time is now being devoted to my girlfriend.
Can't imagine.
And you
But yeah,
never
basically,
will.
basically, the single life is better. That's what I'm getting from this conversation. You have more time to dick around and play Geometry Dash and Mega Man.
that is in fact the life. Geometry Dash and Mega Man. That's all you need.
I actually started playing once you delayed the podcast for the 5th time. I just busted out Mega Man and was like, I've been meaning to get to the Legacy Collection, which you, I think, gifted me for Christmas, like, last year.
Bruh.
But hey, it may be a year late, but I am playing it, and I've beaten Gutsman and Cutsman stage.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is pretty fun so far. My only issue is that you can tell it's their first time designing like a platformer game of this
Yeah.
style. They're the first time designing Mega Man games specifically. Like best
Remember
anecdote,
when Mega Man had a point system?
I got reminded of it, and
That's
there
my
is
favorite
one.
quirk in returning to Mega Man 1, just looking at it, be like, oh yeah, they did think this game needed points for some stupid reason.
Okay, so a perfect example of what I'm talking about in was it Cutman or yeah, it was Cutman's stage. I am 90% certain where this happens. So there's this part where you descend ladders while there's this enemy that shoots orbs in all directions. And if it hits you take damage, right? Now, next to this ladder section, there was a giant empty space. Now, clearly you were supposed to navigate downwards to the next screen, right? Obviously not a pit. So me thinking with portals is like, well, I can just go the way faster route and not have to take so much damage descending the ladders. So I do that. I do a Hail Mary jump off the ledge, thinking I'm super clever. I descend to the next screen. Immediately under me. I'm talking like pixels under me. Obscured by the prior screen, not scrolled in yet. Instant death spikes. Unavoidable. Instant death spikes. I've completely fucked myself. I immediately die. And I'm just thinking to myself, if you didn't want me to jump down there, why not put the spikes on the screen where I can see them before I jump down there? Because I thought it'd be safe.
It's a beginner's trap.
So yeah, there's a few things like that. Also, funnily enough, the checkpoint made me also take unavoidable damage from enemies, like right next to where I spawn in. Yeah, it's jank. It's really jank. But as a general rule, the game is fun. Like Mega Man has a core, fun gameplay. Just the mechanics are good. It's fun.
Man, it's been so many years since I played Mega Man 1. It's the only traditional Mega Man game that I've beaten. I've never been good enough to beat any of the other ones. I used to play Mega Man 5 on Wii Virtual Console. I could never beat it. I could beat like a few of the levels, but I don't think I could ever beat the water level. Shit, it's been so long. I know I could beat the stone dude, the gravity dude. But it's been a minute. I will say though, Mega Man 2, Dr. Wily's Castle stage, probably like the best song in the entire NES library.
That's not even controversial. That's just fact. That's
Yeah,
objectively true.
yeah. I mean, people might, contest like, hey, well, best in the whole, like, best song in the entire console. I don't know about that, but like, I don't think it can be beat. It's like a fucking composition.
It is like, if you're thinking like top 2 most iconic songs on the NES, I mean, the most iconic is Mario 1-1, obviously. I think second would probably be Wily's Castle Mega Man 2.
I mean, there's also the Zelda theme.
True, but like Mega Man 2 is just so iconic, like the Wily theme specifically. I mean, the game in general also, but that theme, like when you think NES, you think that theme.
Yeah, that, what another iconic NES song? Contra Jungle, Metroid, Brinstar.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
That's a whole tangent, though. We don't want to alienate the people who came here for anime. Be like, when are they going to talk about anime?
All right, so what have you been watching lately?
Honestly, in the past month, not a whole bunch. Tomorrow, I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna go see the Sonic 3 in theaters. So I'll report back to that on the next podcast.
Yeah, other than stuff that I had to consume for rants, which I'm still behind on. Don't mention it. Don't remind me. But
Bro
aside
did
from
research instead of doing his job.
the research is part of the job. You should say I played Mega Man 1 instead of doing my job.
You play Mega Man 1 and whatever the fuck Proteus is.
The fuck is Proteus?
It says you have been playing Proteus.
I played Proteus? What? The fuck is Proteus?
Hold on, let me take a screen cap and send it to you.
I need to see that.
Unless Discord is pulling a fast one on me.
What is Proteus?
Have you
I
given
actually...
Proteus
Wait,
is
I
a
need
game
to look
about
this up.
exploration and immersion in a dreamlike island world with a soundtrack to your plays created by your surroundings. Played in first person, the primary means of interaction is simply your presence in the world and how you observe it.
2 hours ago. What?
Do you have this game?
No.
Have you ever given your Steam account to anyone before?
Okay, I have an idea. So, does it say I am playing it right now?
Does it say that you're playing it? It doesn't say that you're playing it right now. It just says you played it 2 hours ago.
Okay, fuck, that's actually a little alarming. I don't know. Tell me if it ever says I'm playing Proteus right now.
Okay. Well, open your Steam and see if you have Proteus in your library.
That, yeah, I should check that. God, that is weird.
Did we discover on live on stream that your fucking Steam has been hacked?
I don't even have Proteus.
That is weird. Hold on, let me...
I should probably... Should I change my fucking password?
You might want to change your Steam password. I don't know. Like, surely Discord couldn't have glitched that. It did say you were playing Mega Man Legacy Collection. I got the Steam notification for that, but I don't know if I ever saw it say on Discord that
That is alarming.
that is bizarre. I don't know why it said that. Let me just to be safe, I'm gonna open your account on my end from the friends menu and see if no, your last 3 games that you played were that Toho game, Geometry Dash, and Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Alright, I am going to change my password on Steam. That is wacky.
Yeah, I don't know what that could have been.
Yeah, other than that,
You've been doing nothing.
yeah, I mean, I played a lot of Proteus, you know, it's a pretty good game. 7 out of 10. I don't remember what you do in it though, but you know, it was I remember it being pretty chill.
Okay, yeah, so all I saw in the past month of a viable podcast time was I saw Wicked with my girlfriend.
Was it a
Yeah,
wicked experience?
It was great. I liked it. And I do have a funny story about it though. So I was because it's like pretty much the last big movie thing aside from Sonic 3 that I give a shit about. It's like the last big movie of the year. So I took my girlfriend to go see it. She is a wicked hater. She hates the musical. And so she was like bitching the whole time about like, yeah, I'll see it with you, whatever, but I don't think I'm gonna have a good time. I think it's gonna suck. I don't know, it's just not gonna work. How are they gonna take the first act of the play and stretch it out to be a whole 2.5 hour movie? Then we got out of it and she's like, baby, I fucking loved that. I was like the whole time I was like, and now I don't let her live it down because I was like really optimistic about the movie. I'd be like, no, it's gonna be fun. Ariana Grande can sing. I'm sure she'll be a good Glinda. All the songs, all the good songs from Wicked are like front loaded in the first act anyway. So I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be good at least. She's gonna be like, no, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be lame. It's Ariana Grande sucks. She's not gonna be good. And she came out of it being like, "What? How is Ariana Grande the best character in that movie?"
True, the character of Ariana Grande.
Well, best actress, but you know
truly.
what I mean. She made Glinda the best character in that movie. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I know nothing about Wicked at all.
well, if you're like me and you work for a Universal adjacent company, you are going to be bombarded with Wicked ads nonstop every night, 5 nights a week. But yeah,
Yeah,
Wicked was in fact really, really great. The music banged. It had a really emotional scene that almost made me kind of tear up.
I guess it was.
It's like a movie. It's a fucking movie. There are movies and then there are movies, if you know what I'm saying. Wicked's a movie.
Sorry, I'm having trouble responding as I'm trying to think of a password. I wasn't kidding. All right, I know what I'll use.
Make sure you verbally say it out loud into your microphone so all our viewers can know your Steam password.
Yeah, so it's PASSWORD. I'm sure no one will guess it.
You know what I sometimes think about? Motherfuckers who actually make their password and like a reverse psychology thing, like they'll never think I'm this retarded.
Well, see, I feel like if I was trying to hack into someone's account and like didn't know how, if I
You
was
would
like
you would
so
jokingly
stupid,
type in the word password
yeah,
first.
that would be my first instinct of just like, I don't know how to, make a virus to hack into this person's account. I don't know any of that shit, but I do want in. Let's just try password on a dime. Oh, it worked. Holy shit. Actually, did you know that most websites won't actually let you make your password?
Oh, so it's
They
retard
s-
proof.
they literally stop you from doing it. As well, I mean, about the numbers and symbols thing,
Yeah.
but I forget exactly where I would have figured this out. But what I think must have happened when I figured out that some places won't let you make the password. Okay, well, actually, I probably would have learned it at like some super throwaway account that I did not give a shit about. More than likely to like some random fucking site that I'll never use again. That's probably where I learned it. Another place where I could have possibly learned it is my brother, for some fucking reason, has his Epic Games account connected to my email, and he cannot remember the password for the life of him. And so, at like once every couple of months, he'll come to me and be like, "Hey, I need I need your email. I needed to go check the email for the confirmation of changing my password." I'm like, God fucking damn it. And each time I try to make the password something easier and easier to remember, and he just never remembers it. And I never remember it either because it's not my account. So why would I remember it? And every time I have him write it down, he loses the paper he writes it down on. It's like, it's so annoying.
Uh, can I? You brought up the numbers and the character thing. I need to go on a quick rant, quick tangent about passwords and this recent this advent, this scourge that has been afflicted upon us poor defenseless innocent mortals over the past couple years. Don't you fucking hate it when you're going to make a password and you use if you're like me, you have like a set of like a small collection, a small handful of passwords that you use for everything.
Yeah.
And I know you're supposed to have a unique password for every single little thing, but in reality, most people can't be fucked with that. Who could be fucked remembering a specific password for every single
The only
fucking
unique
service?
password I have is for like bank information. That shit's so convoluted I have to write it down and
Yeah,
can't,
that
do
that's
not
smart,
have it
but
memorized.
if my Twitter password is the same as my fucking Regal Cinemas password, who's gonna care, right?
I mean,
If you got it, you got it.
I do have 2 passwords I use consistently. So luckily, if someone finds out one, they've only hacked half my shit, as opposed to the other half. As a consolation, right?
Exactly. So isn't it such a pain in the goddamn ass that now in these past few years they've required to be like, oh, by the way, you need to have at least one capital letter in your password.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I do kind of like it because when I was like 12, I made a really
I
shitty, easily guessable password, and one of my passwords is a variation of it, but with like symbols and capitals and whatnot. And
Oh,
so
was there more to that
it's harder
story?
to get. Huh?
Okay. I was gonna say, was there more to that story, or was that it?
No, that's it. Well,
Okay.
okay. The moral of the story is it forced me to make my passwords like harder to guess because I changed it on one website and I was like, well, I don't want to have to remember like two variations of the same password, so I'm just gonna change it on the other site.
Yeah,
So
so like my rant thing though is that I've been using like the same cluster of passwords before they started enforcing that, oh, you need to have a capital letter. So now I have to remember which passwords I have. Okay, is this the one that I use for capitals? Is this the one that I use for all lowercase?
change them all. Just standardize them all to the strongest version of whatever you had.
I've done that for some of them, but then there are also some services like oh, what's one off the top of my head that always like forces you to change your password and you can't use a password you've used in the past.
You can't use a how would they know?
They keep a record for your account. Like, nope, you use this
Yeah,
password.
within the same. For some reason, I thought you meant like across different accounts for different services.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no, no, no.
what
On
the
the
fuck?
same account, but like they'll be like, no, you can't. Whenever you need to change your password for something, like either you forgot it or you want to change it, and and then it'll be like, oh, sorry, you've used this password in the past, you can't use it. So now you have to think of a totally unique one entirely, or a unique spelling, or a collection of characters.
All right, to be fair, I have actually run into this issue, but it's specifically with one thing because all the accounts I use consistently have like pretty like I know the passwords to them, but my old emails have like varying versions of my existing couple of passwords. And so sometimes I have to like think back like, "Oh, what was the old password?" I wanted to get into one of my basically the oldest email that I even remember. And I was like trying all my passwords and I had to think back like 7 passwords ago to try and figure out what the fuck I typed in to get into it. I eventually did guess it. It was like super old password. So that was fun. Well, not in the moment, but fun to think about.
Yeah, so another movie that I saw in theaters, because I heard it was Oscar worthy, was A Real Pain, and it's noteworthy because it's directed by an actor, and I love when actors become directors because it's very fun to get a peek at the minds of those who typically stand in front of the camera who now get a chance to be behind it. And this one was directed and stars Jesse Eisenberg of Social Network fame.
Was it good though?
It was good for a first time. It was good. It was kind of creative in parts. It was very heartfelt. It's about two cousins two Jewish cousins who go on a uh Jewish retreat in London. I'm pretty sure it was London. It was definitely some British country or European country where the Nazis had concentration camps. It's like it's like one of those. I'm trying to find. I'm sure there's an exact word for it, and I'm just fucking
As
blanking.
soon as he said Jewish, I knew that this was going to a very a very dark place.
Yeah, it was. They joined this, like, I guess the word like a. It's both a tour and a retreat. But it's like an educational one where with a bunch of other Jewish people, they or I don't know. I guess I could just say Jews, not Jewish people. With a bunch of other Jews, they go on this retreat throughout the area, learning about their history and what happened to their people during World War II. There's a part where they take a tour of a concentration camp, which is it's the kind of thing where it's like it's been long abandoned. Like the only reason that it hasn't been like completely torn down is for historical reasons, like to as like more like a monument to the past of being like, hey, this is the evil that used to be afflicted upon these people, and rather than tear it down, sweep it under the rug, we keep it up as like a reminder of like the evil that was once a part of our lives. And it features these two brothers reconnecting. It stars Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, the brother of Home Alone's Macaulay Culkin, and it's cute, and it's heartfelt. You could tell this came from a place of love. I don't know if Eisenberg. I can check that real quick. If Jesse Eisenberg wrote the movie in addition to directing it. Let me check real quick. Yeah, okay, he did write it as well. So it definitely felt like it was a story he wanted to tell. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was based on a true story.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering, is the what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was wondering if he himself is Jewish. Do you know that?
His last name is Eisenberg, so yes, he is Jewish.
Fair enough.
You could also not trying to, profile, but you can look at him and look at his Jew fro and be like, oh yeah, this kid's Jewish.
Wow, Neon out here fucking racially profiling the Jews.
I mean, he's
Might
one
as
of
well call him
Hollywood's
Nazi
most famous
Manta at this
Jews. Come
point.
on, he was in The Social Network. He played Mark Zuckerberg. And historically and hilariously stupidly, he played Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman in one of the most gross castings of all time.
I don't know enough about fucking Batman and Superman to get that.
It's really silly to have Lex Luthor be played by Jesse Eisenberg. I'll say he's supposed to be a lot older. First of all, he's not supposed to be Jesse Eisenberg's age.
Is there a second of all?
Second of all, Lex Luthor's supposed to be bald. They put a bald cap on Jesse Eisenberg, and it looks atrocious.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, don't actors go through like ridiculous physical transformations for their roles?
Yeah,
Do
but
you
like
want to keep the fro?
it doesn't work with him because he's also young, so it just looks like he went through chemotherapy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Lex Luthor.
And then now since we're in the Christmas season, I'm catching up on some childhood Christmas movies. You've probably seen, maybe you have been a very sheltered child, so maybe you've not seen them, but they're classics, so maybe you have. Have you ever seen Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer?
I actually haven't, but I saw you writing about it on your Twitter thread, and also every year so far our family sings carols. Nowadays they have to drag us to do it. You know, it's I hate singing in front of people. But every year we do get around to singing My Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, which, may I just say, best Christmas carol. It's like actually a fucking hilarious song. I don't know who wrote it, but whoever wrote the lyrics to it is really just great songwriter, clearly showing their talent in the actual lyrics of the song. No, it's not listenable, because, well, let's be real, no Christmas carol is, but it's like a funny song to sing.
Yeah. The movie's awful.
I saw you posting about it.
Yeah, it's the exact kind of movie where it's like you remember liking it as a kid, and now you look at it with adult eyes like, man, I was a fucking stupid, easily entertained child because this is dog ass.
Well, yeah, how do you fucking bloat a 3-minute song into how long is the movie?
I think the movie's only like an hour long.
Yeah, that's what I would assume, because you can't get any more than like, I mean, you shouldn't get more than 3 minutes out of the song, I assume. But 60 minutes.
Yeah, so let me tell you about the plot. Do you know the plot of the movie?
I assume their grandma gets ran over by a reindeer, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that does in fact happen, but let me tell you everything, all the crazy things that happen in the movie. So there's the grandma is the owner of the last store in Cityville. Fucking not to be
Literally,
confused.
city of Townsville.
Yeah. I was literally about to say not to be confused with the city of Townsville from Powerpuff Girls. It's just straight up called Cityville. Uh, it's the last store unowned by what is essentially Amazon. what, what is essentially Elon Musk. Not Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I got my rich billionaires confused. Pardon me.
Easy to do.
Yeah. So the sexy redheaded bitch with the tits that looks like a alternate universe Daphne from Scooby Doo. Her name is Cousin Mel. So her role is that she wants to sell the store so she could be filthy rich because it's the last store unowned by Amazon. Mr. Bezos really wants to buy it. Like, I'll pay you literally like millions of dollars, like enough money so that way even in your old age, like your family will be set for life, and your grandkids and your grandkids' kids will be set for life. But the grandma's like, no, that's not. I don't want to sell the store because it brings so many people joy every year, and you can't put a price on happiness. So we're not gonna do it. And Cousin Mel's the uber base capitalist that she is like, fuck that. I'm going to put a chemical in your fruitcake that you make every year, Grandma, so that way. Oh God, excuse me. I'm gonna put a chemical in your fruitcake that'll make everyone sick, so that way everyone will be like, "Man, Grandma fucking sucks. She got us sick with her fruitcake." But then, as Grandma's taking the fruitcake back to her place, the first batch that she makes, she gets run over by the reindeer because the chemical is like basically like reindeer nip for them. It's like they're cracked, so they're like, oh my God, I need that now. So Santa sleigh is passing by. Grandma gets run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You could say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we fucking believe. So the kid's last name, by the fucking way, I want you to guess what the last name of the family is.
Surname? Judging
Nope.
from fucking... Okay. I mean, it has to be something really generic. Really
It's not
fucking
generic.
bad.
It's dumb. It's like funny
Okay.
dumb.
Is their last name Christmas?
Nope.
Stocking. Anything
No,
Christmas related.
It's not. I don't think it's Christmas related unless it's there's a pun that I'm just missing. I think it's just a silly name.
All right, lay it on me.
Spankenheimer.
Okay.
I
reminds
think
me of Oppenheimer.
yeah, I think the joke was that the Heimer part kind of sounds like high knee and then spank. So then Spankenheimer.
Good
like
job
spanking your
spotting
butt.
that wordplay, because I wouldn't have, because it's fucking
I
stupid.
could definitely be
It's-
wrong.
That has to be what it is. But it's also like not very good wordplay, because it's too far removed from Heine.
Yeah, so yeah, Grandma gets run over by a reindeer, but then she is whisked away. She's spirited away by Santa Claus. Because as it turns out, when she got run over by the reindeer, she suffered fucking CTE and has amnesia now.
God damn, this movie goes hardcore.
Yeah, so the main character, the grandson, Jake Spankenheimer, he's like, oh, I gotta find Grandma. It's been an entire year goes by. Like a literal fucking year. This grandma's fucking MIA, nowhere to be seen. They put she's all over the news. No one can find where this grandma mysteriously disappeared to. But it turns out, yeah, she got taken by Santa. To be taken care of because he's got, the best healthcare in the world and it's free. He got that Pokemon world free healthcare. Her memory still hasn't came back though, so Jake writes a fucking email to the North Pole, because I guess you could just do that. and then Santa gets it like, oh, okay, that we found where your family is now. We're gonna return you. But then cousin Mel is like, hey, you technically hit and run and kidnapped our grandma, so you're a criminal, Santa, and we're gonna fucking sue you. Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa, because that's what Grandpa's gonna do. And that's the best song in the whole thing, because it's just cousin Mel and her lawyer, literally named I Am Slime.
What the fuck are the names in this movie?
Yeah, the billionaire's name is Austin Bucks.
Makes sense.
By the way, the billionaire character, literally the nicest like CEO billionaire character in any piece of fiction ever. Cause like you'd think that he's in such a like a desperate like vie for the store that he wants to own it, and so he can own the entire city, like every brick and mortar store in the place. He's actually super chill with abiding by the law and being like, okay, kid.
Okay. I can buy all the plot up to this point, but a billionaire wanting to abide by the law? Are you serious? That's where my suspension of disbelief falls completely apart. Yeah,
like
he's a billionaire. They don't get there by abiding by the law.
Yeah, he's like, all right, kid, this deal does not close within 24 hours. Or 72 hours, whatever the fuck time limit was. If you can find grandma by then, I will tear up this contract. And I will seize my bid for your store.
Yeah, he's seizing the bid for the store. Meanwhile, the main character's seizing the means of production. Fucking anti-billionaire. I don't know where I'm going with that.
So they find grandma. He brings her back to her house. She gets her memory back. They testify for Santa in court. They put Santa on fucking trial like it's Ace Attorney. They clear his name. They prove that cousin Mel, that bitch, was behind the whole thing, and they have her sent to fucking jail. Jake sends his own family, flesh and blood, to fucking jail. And the movie ends with grandma getting run over by a reindeer again because she brought home the wrong fruit cake that had the reindeer nip in it. She gets run over again, and it's like, oh boy, here we go again.
Gadzooks.
Yeah, the animation is shit. The script is cheesy. The only good thing about it is the fucking Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa song.
Yeah, so that's the one of the Christmas movies you saw as a child rewatching now. So for a while, our family had Christmas movies we'd watch every year. But the thing is, back when we were really young, we found these like random, extremely cheap made-for-TV movies on whatever streaming service we had at the time. Because we just fucking, what we did, I remember this. We typed in Christmas and then dog. And so for a while, it was our tradition to watch the 12 Dogs of Christmas and the 12 Dog Days of Christmas. 2 separate movies, 2 real movies as well. And it eventually got to a point where we, grew up, got a bit more critical awareness, and we all fucking hated these movies. I literally walked out of... okay, so for a while, 12 Dog Days of Christmas, I think that was the one I liked, was, my favorite Christmas movie. And it got to a point where I just walked out one year, where I was like, I can't handle this fucking movie anymore. It's too boring.
Well, now you know what your end-of-year video can be. Talking about the 12 Dog
Days of Christmas. Once again, real movie.
The worst Christmas movie you've never heard of.
Yeah, I forget what the third one was. There must have been a third
The 13 Dog Days of Christmas.
No, but 13's an unlucky number. That's gonna be like the 12 Dog Days of Christmas, but evil.
That's what it's called. The 12 Dog Days of Christmas, but evil.
There we go.
12 Dog Days. 12 Dog Days till Christmas.
I think in 12 Dogs of Christmas, there is a part where they literally do, they sing the 12 Days of Christmas, but it's, like, different numbers of a breed of dog, and that's, like, the climax of the movie. So, just to give you an idea of what caliber of film we're talking about. Truly breathtaking, cinematography and just everything. But we did also watch some normal ones, like the stop motion animation, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one, where
I
the
was
elf wants to
literally
be a
going to bring that up
dentist.
as the second one that I watched.
Yeah, well, there we go. It's been many years since I've seen it, so I'm interested to see what your updated take is.
It's also been many years since I saw it. This was the first time I'd seen it in like probably a decade, at least. And the stop motion animation is charming. It's really cute. The theme is timeless. It's just that when you look at it, I hate to be this guy because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're such a fucking critical thinker. You're a hater. Stop applying logic to a kid's thing." But it's like the story is a fucking and then this happened story.
Man, Neon, why can't you just turn your brain off, Neon? Why can't you just turn that thing off, Neon?
I can't turn my brain off because every year I watch the fucking Dr. Seuss Grinch Christmas, How He Stole Christmas, animated classic, and every year it's still as fucking amazing as the last.
It's been a while since I've seen that, and I've been meaning to rewatch it because that's been the one Christmas thing that I'm pretty sure will hold up after rewatch. Because I did see it a lot as a kid. Whenever it
Yeah,
just happens to be on
I had the
TV.
fucking VHS of it, and it was peak. I can tell you how many times I rewound that shit, watched it over and over as a kid.
Yeah, have you seen that one this year yet?
Not yet, but I'm probably gonna watch it with my girlfriend. She is dead set on getting me to watch Muppet Christmas Carol because it's her favorite Christmas movie. I think she said it's her favorite Muppet movie and her favorite Christmas movie. So she really wants to watch it together for
That
our
just
first Christmas
unlocked
together.
like a core memory of mine of watching. My grandma's van had a little movie player in the back, so we would watch movies there and TV shows. And my aunt introduced us to a lot of Muppet stuff that way. She also introduced us to Animaniacs, which is based.
Oh, that was based of her. To answer your question, by the way, I looked it up. The sequel, released fucking 7 years later, of the 12 Dogs of Christmas, is 12 Dogs of Christmas, The Great Puppy Rescue.
There's another one.
That was the third one you said you couldn't remember the name of.
No, so they're not in a series. They're separate movies.
Oh, well, this is a duology.
Crazy.
The 12
Yeah, they
Dogs of
weren't all
Christmas and the
about.
12 Dogs of
I'm
Christmas
like
Great Puppy Rescue.
90% sure the third one wasn't dog related, which is why I was having trouble remembering it.
The third one, according to Letterboxd, it's not related to the other two. It's just called 12 Dog Days Till Christmas.
Yeah, of course it's not related to the other two. How many 12 dog days of Christmas are there? Are there any other dog days of Christmas I should know about in here?
Meow.
I'm out of here.
uh, Man, it's really funny looking at the I was curious, so I clicked on the director of both the 12 Dogs of Christmas duology and the 12 Dog Days Till Christmas movie. And it's really funny to compare their filmographies. You look at Keith Merrill, who directed those two 12 Dog Days of movies, 12 Dogs of movies. And it looks like he's directed some serious like actual films. Like I've never heard of them, but they look like they're real movies. You know, The Great American Cowboy from 1973, Windwalker 1980, Mr. Kruger's Christmas 1980, Amazon 1997, The Testaments 2000, Takedown, 1979. They look like, genuine movies. Then you look at Charlie Vaughn, who directed 12 Dog Days Till Christmas, and he's directed All Hallows Eve, First Period, Bloody Mary, Vampire Boys, Sweet Home Carolina, A Fish Tale, Happy Ever Spinster.
I remember 12 Dog Days of Christmas had really bad acting, and even 12-year-old me could recognize it. Like, really obviously amateur acting in some scenes.
Let me check its Letterboxd score. It has a
Probably
2.4
not
on
very high.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, deserved.
Has less than 1,000 people who have even logged it. Versus, let's see, 12 Dog Days. 12 Dogs of Christmas, mind you. It has a 2.8. Has 1.3 hundred people logged it, and then the sequel has only 310 people logged it. It doesn't even have enough people who reviewed it to give it an aggregate score.
Yeah, and then another Christmas movie that we watched as kids, and that it's been a while since I watched, is A Christmas Carol. I feel like there's, I think there's a lot of movies named that, but let's see.
Do you remember which one it was specifically?
I remember which one.
Oh,
it
is it the
is,
Disney
but I'm
one?
trying
Was
to
it?
remember?
Was it live
No,
action? Or
so
was it animated?
It was live action.
Okay, maybe it was the 1984 one then.
A Christmas. Let's see, 1984. I'm gonna look that up because I was trying. I know it's pretty old. Yeah, 1984 one. And I remember, like, as a younger kid, I did not like it because it is very slow, very, very slow, and not a lot happens. But the older I got, I did begin to appreciate it more. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it now, but it's actually the Christmas movie I have the clearest memories of because the story is so simple and the moral, while obvious, is still, it's timeless.
Too bad the billionaires nowadays will never understand.
Bro, if a billionaire today could just be like Scrooge, just have his reformation and realize that no one will be sad when they die.
In fact, they will be celebrating.
Yeah.
There'll be a fucking party in the streets. Oh my god.
I can still remember the images of Scrooge walking through his dark mansion with a candle, not wanting to even waste his electricity bill. Like, just the idea that someone so stooped in wealth could be such a penny pincher to the point of literally, like, taking out all pleasure from his life. Like, that's such evocative imagery right there. Like, that's peak. That's Kino. That says something.
Yeah,
About the
my
characters.
girlfriend and Muppet fans alike will all swear that the Muppet Christmas Carol is like the best version of the Christmas Carol story, and I'm looking forward
I have not
to.
seen it.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably report back once I watch it with my girlfriend. She doesn't know this yet, and she doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can say this here, and I won't spoil it. I gave her her Christmas present early, and she hasn't opened it yet though. I told her, here's your present. You're not allowed to open it until Christmas. And she said, why would you torture me like this? Whereas you motherfucker, I send you your Christmas present, you don't even think about it, you fucking open it immediately.
Yeah, I literally did not think about it. It's okay. I gifted Redneck his gifts early. I have to specify this every time. Redneck is a friend of mine. He's on the Discord. I gifted him Toho 10 and Geometry Dash. And I also gifted you Geometry Dash.
You gifted everyone Geometry Dash.
Well, most of my friends that I would consider giving gifts to already have Geometry Dash. So, there's a limit. But I also have a special surprise for you.
Oh boy, I can't wait for the...
It's coming in the mail.
I can't wait for the Kikuri Hiroi shaped pipe bomb that you have sent to me in the US Postal Service.
Like, just wait until you give your girlfriend her present, she opens it, and it's the pipe bomb you sent me. Because you mixed up the gifts on accident. Then you're like, Crunchy, I finally sent you the pipe bomb, and I get it, and it's like fucking perfume.
Well, the gift that I got her is a vinyl soundtrack of Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, she'll love that.
Dude, she's gonna fucking bounce off the wall. I need to tell you, I hate to go out of another tangent real quick, but I am slowly filling up all the available surface area space on her bed with plushies.
I want to live like that, but I'm too broke. I need more plushies.
Well, you should have been born a girl, and you should have rizzed me up, because I would have done exactly that.
Damn, if only the fucking hot spring from Ranma 1/2 were real. If only.
Yeah, like literally in the past week, I bought her like 5 plushies.
How much? Okay, well, you have a job, so that makes sense. But still, how much disposable income do you have?
Enough that I have. Tell me you've never worked a full-time job without telling me you've never worked a full-time job.
Okay, but like, even if I had that much money, I would like save it on getting a house and moving out.
I
Like,
do.
I
I
know you
do.
do, but
And
I am so afraid of spending money. I feel awful when I spend money, and it's always on snacks. And so I'm always like, God, why did I do that? I didn't need snacks.
uh, yeah, the plushies, like, they range in price, but like the most expensive one I think was like $40, and the least expensive one was like 10.
To be fair, I did buy a $50 plushie of a YouTuber, so maybe I'm in no position to judge your spending habits. No regrets, by the way.
Let me try to remember the 5 plushies I bought my girlfriend in the past week. I bought her when we were at Universal with a bunch of my friends in like a big group outing. I got her a Spider-Man plushie because she says she loves Spider-Man. That's her favorite superhero, and she I don't know why. She just she says she associates me with Spider-Man.
I mean, I think that's a good thing.
It is a good
think,
thing. It is a
probably.
massive compliment. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, so I will take that massive fucking W. I also have been told by multiple strangers before that I look like Tobey Maguire, so
Yeah,
I'll
I'm gonna
take
get a
that
girlfriend, and
compliment.
she's gonna say that I fucking remind her of Mahiro Oyama from Onima.
um, yeah, so I got her a little Spider-Man. I got her a uh what what's the goth bitch's name from Hello Kitty? She fucking adores Hello Kitty. So I have her I got her a bunch of Hello
Well, yeah,
Kitty stuff.
every girl does.
Wow, way to put all women in a box, Crunchy, as if I haven't
Okay,
said that
look. I know
exact
that
same
you're not
thing to her
supposed to put-
before. And then I'd be like, oh my god, you're such a girl.
I know you're not supposed to put people in boxes, but come on, it's true. It's literally true.
It is true.
Find a woman who doesn't like Hello Kitty.
And you will find
dare
a
you.
liar.
Exactly.
The goth bitch. I don't know what her name is. Kiroy.
I know who you're
I don't
talking
know.
about.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, Kiroy. I got her a Cinnarol. It's like the one with the floppy ears. I got her the pink bunny one. I think it's Melody, her name is. And then I got her a Death Note plush. It's just a plush of the Death Note.
That I'm not sure if I would want that plush. That feels a bit morbid, a bit strange to
it's
have
literally
on my
like
bed.
there's a button on it with a latch that you can like use as like to open and shut it. So when you unbutton it, it opens up and it just has the rules of the Death Note written onto it as a part of the stitching.
Yeah,
It was not my
feels
idea.
like
She
a
loves
weird
Death.
thing.
She loves Death Note, so she was when we walked into our local anime store, she looked at it and she was like, hubby, boyfriend, could you please? And I was like, okay, babe. And she's like, thank you, you're the best. I love you. I love you so much.
See, I would never have this interaction with a woman because, once again, I hate fucking spending money. I'm the biggest.
I thought you
My
were gonna
idea
say
of a
I
first
hate
date-
fucking women.
I mean, that is true, but more importantly, I hate spending money.
I would never spend
My
that much on a
idea-
woman because I fucking hate
Exactly.
women.
My idea of a first date is walk in the park type shit. I ain't spending a dime. Fuck you.
Crunchy, you can't take that mentality. You're gonna
When
have to
I
take.
get the big YouTube bucks, maybe.
You gotta take a woman, no matter what. On the first date, you gotta pay. No, none of that fucking.
Fuck it, she can pay. Fuck her.
You gotta be a man. You gotta subscribe to the fucking gender roles. You gotta pay. You can't be progressive and be like,
No,
we'll split the bill.
Hold on. You're underestimating the femboy Riz Neon. She'll know. She'll sense it in me. She'll know that she has to pay up. She'll feel
And
her purse getting
maybe if you
emptier
find
by
a
the second
tomboy
just by
who's into
looking at me.
femboys.
I think there's plenty. I think that you're describing a big market right there. I think I have a chance.
Well, you're kind of outing yourself as the sub though by saying that.
Not necessarily. Maybe we can just have like a really weird.
I want a tomboy girlfriend who will financially support me.
Who's also a bottom. Yeah, like weird.
You have described
combination
exactly
ever.
0% of the population of the planet.
Don't care. I ain't paying.
You'll never get the hose that way, Crunchy. Women, you gotta make women not just attracted to you, but attracted to the bag.
Bro, what fucking bag? I have literally like 10k subs on YouTube. You think I'm making big bucks?
Well, you know, Crunchy, statistically speaking, one of those can be a groomable woman.
True. There was a non-zero chance that... Actually, judging from the statistics of the Nyan Neko Sugar Girls video, there's a surprisingly big portion of them. I can pull a BGE and Digi and say, hey,
Data
hey,
fan.
I've got a Snapchat, and then get canceled for it.
Hey, it's okay. Nate never got canceled for it.
Yeah, well, Nate's done a lot of things, and he's never gotten canceled for any of them, like the N-word, the lolly song. I feel like he's got bigger skeletons in his closet than dating a fan.
I still can't believe that when I go back and watch his what was it, the Princess and the Frog video, I'm pretty sure he just straight up says the N-word. I'm like, hey, yo.
I still remember my first time listening to the Arrow Manga Sensei Every Week podcast, and Nate just losing it. I think it's like episode 10 or 11, where he's like, you cheap ass Jew, and then he just says it full ER. Just full thrust.
Damn, I have to rewatch that. I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that? He
No.
he literally says right afterwards, this show's making me racist. And did you remark, it's making you racistly angry?
Well, I think that we spent more than enough time to ensure that we're not going to...
Wait, hold on. I just realized you don't remember. I referenced that segment in a podcast where I said the words cheap ass Jew and then cut myself off. You didn't know what I was getting at. You thought I was just racist for no reason.
Yes.
I know I've referenced it in that exact way. I forget what episode. I thought you'd get it.
No, it's I haven't watched the fucking Arrow Manga Sensei Every Week podcast since Arrow Manga Sensei came out.
Okay, makes sense that you'd forget it then. I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times in full. Mostly while editing videos or doing chores. It's great.
I will return to it one day. I have thought about one day being like, all right, for the entirety of the time that Digi and Nate were a part of it, I'm gonna go back and listen to the backlog of the procrastinators and see if I missed out on any peak.
Okay, you have to watch the Yellow episode. Do you know the story?
I think you've told it to me before, and I've just forgotten.
It's hilarious. All right, so the yellow episode is Endless Jess insisting that his videos are not yellow, right? So everyone else in the video in the voice call is insisting that the lighting in Endless Jess's videos is yellow. It looks yellow, which if you look at the fucking videos, they are yellow. They are yellow videos. But Endless Jess keeps saying, no, no, my lighting is pristine and it is not yellow. And they like get so vehemently angry over this that it like it feels like it's about to cost them their friendship. It genuinely does at points. They get so heated about the color of Endless Jess's videos, and like Digi intercuts like after all of this has happened, and Digi just frequently cuts in like rambling to herself about the nature of light and the color yellow and like getting weirdly philosophical about it. It's unhinged. I've listened to barely anything of the PCP podcast, but I will forever remember that.
Yeah, have we put out more episodes than the PCP podcast yet? I wonder.
It's been a thing for so long. I'm certain we haven't.
Uh, well, we can't count when they split because everything passed when Nate left.
Yeah, I saw one of the final episodes of people just lamenting Digi, at that point Trixie, leaving the show and no longer being friends with Ben Saint. So that one was just depressing. And also one of the hosts, I don't remember their name, like could not form a coherent sentence. And I got really annoyed listening to them speak. I was like, just spit it out, form the words in your brain before you say them.
Yeah, the last fucking video I watched from the PCP channel was the I rewatched the Guilty Gear lore lecture. Just cause I love the fucking so many lines in there that I'll just quote from every time.
Now that you mention it, I have put the hottest goss in the universe on in the background while doing things probably like 6 or 7 times at this point. It is genuinely one of my favorite videos on YouTube. It's so good. Like, I've listened to a few of the lectures, but I always go back to that one because it just clears all the others.
I love Gears mature at the age of 3. Loud clapping.
I remember that.
Humanity won the war. Yeah, USA, USA, USA. The United States are gone. And like, aww. Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. I love how the theory of magical science keeps getting like changed every other fucking time it's brought up. Like the magical theory of science, the science of magical theory. Fucking how does it go? I lost my shit the first time I heard this when I watched it with a friend who's just like they're talking about justice from Guilty Gear, and like the first thing she does when she gets into pouch is like, I hate anime, and then nukes the entire country of Japan. Japan is decimated, no longer on the map.
Yeah, I didn't quite finish that lecture. I had it on in the background while doing other things, and then I paused it, came back to it, and like the lore gets so convoluted, and because I was only half paying attention to it, like I just lost track. There were so many characters and so much bullshit. So someday I do have to re-listen to that though, because it was really fun.
Yeah, I love the fucking lecture videos. I listened to that one.
We still need to do our own lectures someday once we inevitably
well,
have our own PCP with Rufus and who the fuck else?
We gotta once you get big enough, we can fund and I actually put out a video. We can fund our own RadCon.
And I'll be wearing a Bagel Chan mask the entire time like Dead Mouse.
You can wear one of those fucking weird those creepy fucking plastic anime masks that people used to wear in like the 2000s.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you could do that.
I was thinking more a cardboard box with like paper, like papered on Bagel Chan on it.
Dude, just show
Like,
your fucking face.
No, no.
What the fuck do you have to hide?
My face.
For what?
I just don't want to show it. I am against showing it, at least for the time being.
Well, sorry to derail this podcast. No, Crunchy, we're never gonna get this featured on r/anime now.
Oh no, like we were going to get featured beforehand, definitely.
Well, unless we spend the next hour and a half talking about exclusively anime.
You know what? It could pass the 50% mark. It's not impossible, because the only news we have written down is anime-related news.
All right, well,
I mean,
starting
unless
now,
we
let's see
wanna
if we
talk
can
about
turn this into a fucking 3-hour
Luigi
podcast.
Shooting. Unless
We
wanna talk about that.
we did miss a prime opportunity to bring up the fucking United Healthcare Luigi thing with you were talking about nowadays if a CEO were to pass away, it would be celebrated in the
yeah.
streets. I would have been like, yeah, it's kind of like how it literally happened. Where people's first reaction was when they saw the guy who did it was not, wow, what a fucking I can't believe he just did that shit out in the open where on camera where people could see it, and their first reaction was, damn, he kind of a baddie.
Bro, whoever snitched on him, first of all, they're trying to not pay him, last I checked, and second of all, stitches
was
get
they trying to not pay him, or was he
snitches
like
get
straight up
stitches.
refusing the money?
No, so they were trying to get out of paying him because there was a loophole in the way they phrased how the bounty would work. I haven't looked into it, so I might be completely off here, but I saw the headlines.
Yeah, I didn't look into it either. I thought he was
Hilarious.
refusing the money, and I was like, damn.
Bro, imagine, like, refusing the money for snitching on him as if you're doing, like, some high and mighty moral act.
I mean, doing it for
lamest.
If it were me, I would have taken the money.
I would
but like,
too, I'm not gonna lie.
I low key respect being like, I don't want to take the money for ratting out the guy who shot this healthcare CEO.
I don't respect it, because if you're not gonna take the money, don't rat him out. Keep it on your chest.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's some legal thing. It's like you've seen him, but you're withholding information, so you could be plausibly involved. You could be like a liability.
I'd have to look into it, but all I know is that if it is the case that he wants to get money but isn't getting paid for it, grim, extremely grim, like literally the proof that he shouldn't have ratted, because these billionaires will hoard all the fucking money for themselves.
Well,
but yeah, on a lighter note,
anime. Hey, y'all ever read Anne of Green Gables?
no.
Me neither, but now you can experience it in the best way possible by watching it as one of my Japanese animes.
Yeah, so we honestly just have a lot of anime announcements to talk about.
We could have talked about the Game Awards, but as established, Crunchy plays like 2 video games a year, and they're not new ones.
Actually, I was kind of pumped about the Okami sequel, because I do actually have Okami.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was one of the big surprises.
I was
3.
super surprised about that.
Although jury's still technically out on if this is Okami 2 for real, or Okami 3.
What the fuck is Okami 2?
Okami Den.
I did not know that existed.
It was on the DS. It's, according to the Wikipedia article, I looked it up the night of the Game Awards. It's considered a spiritual successor and not a direct sequel, even though I'm pretty sure Amaterasu is kind of the same character in it.
Uh, yeah, I've never fucking heard of this game in my life.
I'm surprised. Yeah, it's well, it doesn't get brought up in conversation as often as the OG Okami.
Well, listen, Neon, I'm not a gamer. I don't know much.
Uh, it also it's just it was also kind of like, oh, okay. It was not Amaterasu, it was Chibi Terasu, the son of Amaterasu, and the game is in a chibi art style.
Chibi Terasu is a fucking hilarious name.
I think that
Is
was
that the
their
canon
attempt to
name?
be like, how can we make Okami turn him into a marketable plushie?
Well, it clearly didn't work considering how long it took for Okami 2/3.
Yeah, but you know what I'm most excited for about the announcement of the Okami sequel?
Lay it on me.
uh if we can bring back old Okami, not old Okami, old Capcom games from that era of gaming, Beautiful Joe's got a shot, dude. Beautiful Joe's got a fucking shot.
What the fuck is Beautiful Joe?
You've never seen Beautiful Joe?
No.
You've
Uh,
probably seen what he looks like, but
all right. Here, I'll look him up.
yeah, like it's like beautiful, but like it replaced the "beau" part with "view."
Beautiful Joe.
Like
Oh, I've
there's no
seen
way
this
you've never
guy.
seen this guy
I've
before.
seen this guy. I don't know. Or actually, have I seen this guy?
He's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this franchise, I'm not gonna lie.
There were only 2 games in the franchise, I'm pretty sure.
Well, makes sense then.
Yeah, it's it was also directed by Hideki Kamiya. It's one of his babies. Let me check how many. So there's Beautiful Joe, there's Beautiful Joe 2, and then there's uh 2 more games released in 2005. So it's Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble and Beautiful Joe Double Trouble.
So what
So
you're saying is
there
that Beautiful Joe may not be Jover after all.
it is in fact not Jover, but yeah, Clover Studio games can be are fucking back, boys. When's the God Hand sequel?
You keep naming games I've never heard of.
Like, I gotta fucking turn you into a gamer.
But yeah, in other news, anime.
Yeah, Anne of Green Gables. Sorry to get sidetracked once again.
Where we tend to do that a lot. We
Oh my
also have
god.
light novel. Unless you have something to say about Anne of Green Gables, I've got literally nothing other than that it's being made.
Well, the only noteworthy thing about it right now is like it's being it's being called Anne Shirley. It's being made by the Answer Studio, which did the second season of Tower of God, which does not fill me with a lot of hope because I don't like the way Tower of God looks, but from this one image of Anne, she looks pretty cute. Uh this is also not the first time Anne of Green Gables has been adapted into anime because there was the 50 episode show all the way back in the late 70s to the early 80s. Actually, no, not even that. It just aired in the entirety of 1979. And then there was the 39 episode prequel anime in 2009.
Damn, does Anne of Green Gables lore go that hard?
I'm not saying that Anne of Green Gables to make it a video about every Anne of Green Gables anime is unviable, but I'm just saying there's a lot to be
It is
done there.
completely 2,000 views max.
I mean, you could tie it together with when it comes out in spring 2025.
You
It
think
can
they're
be
gonna
a
be hype
seasonal
about
and
around it?
a history
You
lesson all
think
in the same
people are getting
time.
hyped for the seasonal anime Anne of Green Gables? You think that's gonna get any traction?
Hey man,
You don't have a comeback. You can't say anything. I'm right.
I don't know, man. What I don't know. Watch it end up being peak. I don't know. Maybe they're cooking.
Maybe Anne of Green Gables is like the greatest story ever told, and we just didn't know.
It is a classic.
True. Maybe it stood the test of time because I don't know what happens in Anne of Green Gables. I literally don't.
I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens in a lot of classic stories. What the fuck is a Don Quixote?
Look,
all
maybe
Anne
of Green Gables was like the proto shonen story from like when did Anne of Green Gables come out?
Also, my Audacity keeps I set the recording level to 80, but it keeps slowly scrolling down.
It does that for me a lot. This is what I was telling you about ages ago. And you were like, huh, that's weird. And now it's happening to you.
I'll have to look into that afterwards. But Yuri. There's no time to talk about Audacity right now because girls kissing.
Look, my brain can be summed up as such. Yuri, just that one over and over again.
Yeah, we got a new Yuri anime. No, only really noteworthy thing about it. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh wow, this main character is Kaus coded as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say they pink haired, purple eyes, got the braids.
Same hair clips, literally just Kaus from Comic Girls convinced me otherwise. Which, to be fair, that show was also a Yuri. And, like, not even a Yuri bait, an explicit Yuri.
Yeah, but the good thing is that she's not going to be as annoying as Kaus-chan, so...
Kaus is a good protagonist, and you can
Comic
shut
Girls
the fuck up.
Bad
Kaus,
because of her.
Shut the fuck up. You're wrong. You're wrong. Kill this man with hammers.
Kill Kaus with hammers. And she'll make a funny scream.
Look, all I'm saying is that you reek of needing to be killed with hammers.
There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless being animated by Studio Mother, who has done nothing good. They've done some seasons of Ari Fuerta.
Honestly, the most notable thing about this anime, you've definitely seen the Twitter parody of you've got to be capping. God, how does it go? It's like some stupidly Zoomer title that they gave it.
You gotta be capping.
Anime news
You'll
and
never
farts.
riz me up or something like that.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Let's see, is there any like noteworthy staff on this at all? No, it's being directed by the fucking Ari Fuerta director, so this is definitely an in-house baby.
Uh-oh. That does not bode well. It might be another Yuri L.
We can only hope. It is about, wanting to be friends with benefits, so we'll see. We'll see. Just like we'll see about new Gundam.
Look, all I'm saying is that Take did the designs, so it's gonna be peak fiction. Take did the designs, so I will watch it.
Also noteworthy, it is being directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki, who has directed OG FLCL.
The script is Yoji and Okita, which I've never heard of. But also, Hideaki Anno on the script.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah!
Oh, that's huge. What the fuck? Anno's co-writing it?
Wait, hold on. No. One of the other writer did Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Oh, peak? Peak fiction?
Wait,
ding,
are
ding,
we,
ding, ding,
are
ding.
we actually getting like the greatest anime ever made?
I'm ringing the bell. I'm pulling the foghorn that's going peak fiction.
Holy shit. Wow, this has like the most stacked cast I have ever seen.
Yeah,
wow.
So we got the FLCL director. What else is they directed? Humana, looking over. He co-directed some of the Evangelion movies, the rebuilds. Worked on, he's a Gainax figure, obviously. Anything else noteworthy that they worked on? Because he
One of the
episode
character animation
director.
directors is Mayumi Nakamura, who was the chief animation director on My Dress Up Darling. So
Based.
another pull there.
Yeah, the guy was an episode director and key animator, and storyboard artist for Evangelion. He helped direct End of Evangelion.
Look, all I'm saying is that it does not get more peak than this. Like, I'm gonna watch this. There's no way I'm not.
Written the whole the stories being written by fucking Mr. Utena, who also wrote Bungo Stray Dogs, who also wrote Redline, who also wrote Oron, who also did some other scripting for Evangelion and Sailor Moon. Take character design, so if you liked Pokemon Sword and Shield character designs and nothing else about it like I did. Mech designs by the Gunbuster designer Ikuto Yamashita. Who are the the other character designers? Chief character animation director. I'm just going because this is a fucking huge ass list. Who's doing the music? Yoshimasa Terui, who did Jujutsu Kaisen. The JJK has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, that's encouraging.
It's being animated by Kara. Yeah, it's a co-production. You know what? Now that I think about it, it being a co-production of Kara and Sunrise probably should include me in that. Anno is going to be working on it. Has Anno been a part of Gundam at all before?
Other than being inspired by it for Ava, I do not believe so.
Let me scroll back. I'm checking to see if he's like been in any. He's worked on Macross. Gundam. Like there has to be one thing of Gundam that he's okay. He was a mecha designer for Char's counterattack, so he does have a history of help in Gundam before, but like I think that's his only Gundam credit. Because I'm scrolling through more. I'm looking for any time that the word Gundam pops up. No, that's his only time ever working in Gundam.
Except for obviously this one.
Yeah. By the way, the only bad thing about this is that how the fuck do you say that title?
Let's see. Let me look at the title. Hito Senshi Gundam Seekix. That's exactly how you say it, I'm sure. The Japanese certified way to pronounce it.
Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam Jakooks. You gotta hold out the U. If you ain't holding out the U, you ain't saying it right. And it's going to supposedly begin in winter 2025.
That is exciting.
Yeah, my excitement for that is now shot through the roof. Just like my dread for the next anime that just got announced recently. Takopi no Genzai, aka Takopi's Original Sin, is getting an anime.
Yeah, so I had Neon describe what the premise of this show is to me before the show, because a little look behind the curtain, we did not have any news written down until like literally right before recording. And so Neon looked through all the anime announcements recently. This one, as Neon described it to me, is about an alien who comes to Earth to, figure out what it's all about, to this household, meets this boy who's being domestically abused. Fun.
Oh no, it's a girl.
Oh, girl?
Yeah, domestic abuse is sadder when it happens to little girls.
True. Yeah, I will not be watching this. I can say that pretty safely.
Yeah, let me read you the little brief snippet of the synopsis here. The task to bring a smile to her face is easier said than done, however. Shizuka is bullied by her classmates, she does not have a father, and her mother is never home, though the gravity of these issues flies over the naive Takopi's head. Even so, Shizuka does have one source of happiness, her dog Chappie. The connection Shizuka and Chappie share only increases Takopi's desire to make the girl smile. So I've never read the manga. I've never had it spoiled for me
Wait,
either.
so hold on. It said that the mom is never home. So is it about domestic abuse or about an absentee parent?
I mean, I would not be surprised if the mother, the rare time she is home, abuses her daughter. But as I was about to say that I've never, read the manga, but I can't help but wonder if there's gonna be some dog death in this.
now that you mention it, yeah, of course. I mean, I
wonder
like
if we're
that
gonna
has to
kill this
happen.
little girl's dog, the one source of happiness in her life.
I mean, that's in the plot synopsis. The dog has to go.
The dog's gonna
That dog's gonna
fucking
get Old
die.
Yeller straight to hell.
It's gonna be like that one hilarious moment in Elfen Lied where these little like elementary school kids are like so comically evil that they're taking a little puppy and beating it to death bloodily.
That's gonna be her bullies. Oh, what, you like this dog? Let's just shoot it.
The kid's just like, hey guys, look at meet my cute little dog. His name's Chappie. Hey, what are you doing with that 1979 Panzer tank?
Nah, you see, firearms aren't allowed in Japan, so they're gonna use the makeshift gun used on Shinzo Abe.
Yeah, the fucking
that sucker.
Fallout gun.
Yeah, so overall, this one seems like kind of too depressing for me. I'll probably
3
skip
depressing
it.
5U.
Exactly. It seems like the same situation as I was telling Neon, as like Perfect Blue, where in Oyasumi Pun Pun and Berserk, for that matter, where I know well, I don't know this one's peak. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But for the latter ones, like I know they're good. I know I should consume them and watch and read them. But I know they'll destroy me though. I don't want to put myself through that.
Listen, Crunchy, sometimes you gotta make yourself feel things in order to feel peak.
Maybe I'll feel happiness instead.
Maybe I'll
Instead,
feel
which you
the
won't
weight of the world's sins on my shoulders.
as you watch the fucking AI anime. Hey,
Speaking of sins,
this is an atrocity.
yeah,
An
fucking
art
Twins
crime.
Hinahima, an anime that is being made with about 95% of the cuts to be made in AI to reduce the burden on the animators. Crunchy, this is an ethically appropriate anime. This is ethically viable.
Reduce the burden on the animators is a way to phrase it, certainly.
I mean,
However,
you can't overwork an AI.
true. However, if I had to guess, just based on, the trajectory of the animation industry in Japan, as it were, right? I mean, this tech is pretty recent, I'd say, right? This tech is fairly new, and, they're still getting to grips with it. If I had to guess, this anime had, pretty short production cycle, don't you think? Seems like a pretty quick turnaround on such a new technology. They barely even took time to get to know what it's like and, learn its limitations. Something tells me, maybe, just maybe, the apparently ethically sourced AI anime may have also suffered from crunch time, even after not using real drawings for most of it. Something tells me that.
Well,
Although
yeah, I know.
that's
You know what? Who's to
that's to avoid
say?
the bigger issue that ethical, fucking reducing burden on animators. Bitch, they're not gonna have a job in 5 years if you keep this up. The fuck you mean reduce burden? Yeah, you're gonna be reducing their burden. You're also gonna make it so they don't work at all. You're gonna get them out of a job. Look, all I'm saying is that maybe we're opening Pandora's box too soon.
Listen, if it's any consolation, it looks like shit.
It does. You can see, you look at it and like at a first glance, if you have it on like the tiny window, like not full screen, you could be like, oh wow, that's actually like kind of smooth, and then you zoom in, and then you go full screen, and you see what you did not notice before, that everything is moving constantly. The characters are made of soup. They're made of soup. Nothing can stay in place.
They live in
The
Soup
lines,
World.
the lines are melting. It is. Oh, and also the anime is about TikTok. That's like salt in the wound. It's literally, it's literally about girls who dream of getting viral on TikTok.
Hey man, Mayonaka Punch I remember being pretty fun.
True, I do need to get back to that, but it made me think, right? Seeing that this was about TikTokers actually made me think, like, why are all the modern anime about YouTube, except for Mayonaka Punch? Apparently, I have not seen anything from it. Why are they all bad? Like that one anime about the the fighting YouTube channel,
A viral hit.
viral hit. That one sucked. That I did not watch past episode 1, but I don't think I needed to. It was not very
I
good.
mean, I remember I don't know if you agreed with me. I remember being like, the anime adaptation is like uninspired, but like I could imagine myself reading the manga for this.
I could imagine it being like the junk food that I feel. Well, I won't feel bad for consuming it because I don't feel that way about. I could imagine as a manga it being like good junk food that I acknowledge as being unhealthy for me in a way. But as a serious story that I take seriously at all, no. But it just made me think, like, none of these stories show what it's really like to be a YouTuber or a TikToker or whatever, you know? It shows, like, the glamour of, oh, yeah, you want to be a YouTuber. That's a cool thing to be. I want a story about a YouTuber who has clinical depression, who devotes their life to it so much that like, it's like all they can do, and they lose sight of like social interaction or anything like that. Oh well, they have like barely any subscribers. I need that show. I, I need that. I just need. You want to know why I need it? It's not even necessarily that it describes my life perfectly, because I do have friends, as evidenced by talking on this podcast. But I need it just so that the people who watch this and get like giddy at the thought of being a YouTuber, I just need them to be sent down to reality just a tiny bit. And
So what you're
realize that
saying
it's
is
not
you want
all that
you
it's
you
cut
want
out
a
to be.
YouTube version of Barakamon.
Yeah, I really do. Because Barakamon shows like the main character getting working themselves to the point that they have to be sent to the hospital. It has the main character hating themselves for not drawing well enough, just feeling like shit, working all day, not getting a single good piece of calligraphy out. And then they have to be dragged out of his home to be like, hey, play with the fucking kids of the island and have like fun in your life for once, hey. And then on that trip he gets like a sudden inspiration, and then in a manic burst writes down his super creative piece of calligraphy on the page. And then he's in a rut for the next week. He's like, how do I recreate that? It was just a moment of inspiration. I need a show like that for YouTube. Barakamon is so good, man. I love Barakamon. Anyway, that's enough about that.
Yeah, basically, moral of the story is, make a good
Rewatch
YouTube
Barakamon.
anime, rewatch Barakamon, and this AI anime is going to be awful, and I can't wait for us to watch it. Well, hey, listen, that might not be the peak fiction that we were hoping for, but give it 2 to 3 years, and peak fiction is in fact on the way, because Pokemon announced that they're gonna have a new animated series, probably short form, collaborating with Aardman Animation, The Wallace and Gromit guys.
Peak fiction is upon us. And hey, AI can't replace that. It can't replace the soul and passion behind actual claymation.
Yet. Until we can put together an
Yet.
AI claymation filter.
Oh god, I loathe that day. Please never happen.
Yeah, the only news that we have on it is that it is a thing that will happen in 2027, which seems like a long time, but then you realize that claymation takes the fucking longest time out of all forms of
Yeah.
animation. So now people are speculating that mainly they're thinking one of two things, and the first possibility is the more unlikely one because I can't imagine how you would pull this off. Is putting Wallace and Gromit in the world of Pokemon, which sounds like a squillion-dollar idea,
No way.
but like, yeah,
No way
literally
are they
no
doing
way.
that.
You can't cross those two over.
Uh,
You could like reference it, but you can't actually do it. What's probably more likely to happen is they'll just do like a little mini anthology of Pokemon, yeah, the Pokemon world, but in the style of Aardman's claymation.
that is probably what it's gonna be. But it's still gonna be cute. Still gonna
Yeah,
be a
I
grand old time.
I haven't watched that. What was it called? Pokemon Concierge, which was that stop motion Pokemon series that came out on Netflix a while ago.
Yeah, I saw some buzz about that on Twitter.
Yeah, I have not watched it yet because there are a fucking million Pokemon things to watch.
Yeah, most of them not very good, but this one seems like it will be.
Oh, I'm fucking excited. If it, I hope they let Aardman do the writing too, because I think they have the ability to make it something genuinely funny. Have you ever seen a Wallace and Gromit production before?
Stunningly, I have not.
I can't believe that. You got to check out like the one where they fly to the moon. The Curse of the Were Rabbit's a classic. Of course, they literally, I don't know if it's out yet. It probably is. The one that they made the sequel to, the one with the penguin in the chicken hat.
Sorry, I was not paying enough attention to what you were saying.
Bro is thinking about the mouse.
Man, it's gonna come and stab me in my sleep and give me turbo rabies.
Yeah, there's a mouse in Crunchy's house right now. The mouse is it is
okay.
in fact
currently in my
Disney's
brother's
House of
room.
Mouse.
It's okay. He can deal with it. He can deal with the pain. I'm safe for now.
But yeah,
Although,
that's pretty
judging
much.
from how my cat was acting, it probably was in my room at one time.
You're
But
not saying
she's
it's
settled
like
down for now.
he's like Jerry from Tom and Jerry. He's got like the whole network of little tunnels all throughout the house that connect him to every room.
Oh god. Yeah, nah, my cat's just sleeping in the corner now, so I'm assuming her instincts have cut out because it's no longer in my room. Is what I'm choosing to believe so I can sleep tonight.
Whatever helps you cope. And yeah, I think that'll do it for all like the non things that people actually came to the podcast for. That people are clicking 2 hours ahead to get to this timestamp. Now it's time to talk about Dandadan.
ご無事でいてなんておはれんちな姿でしょう。平にそんなお姿をお見せつけになるなんてもうお婚約がお前提ってことなのですね。よっしゃ
Neon, this is the greatest show ever made.
It really does feel like that, huh?
No, it doesn't just feel like that. It is. It is. That's a fact.
Hey man, I ain't gonna argue against it. It is continuing its strong candidacy for Anime of the Year. Well, at the time of recording, the season's done now, so and has been confirmed for season 2 already.
Okay, so yeah, the final episode did air. Oh god, I'm gonna have to. Neon, do you know how hard it's gonna be to stop myself from watching it immediately? Do you?
I mean, It and Mecha-Ude only have 3 episodes left each. If we want to be like, Neon, can we like record the podcast like a week ahead of time, even though it's Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, maybe doing it on Christmas is a bit much. but
Well, I
for
suppose it is
Dandadan's
going to be
sake,
the next.
I wouldn't.
I mean, it is going to be the next podcast anyway. So if the show is this peak, then watch the 3 episodes now, and you just take the notes and remember for when we record in 2 weeks.
Well, I have short-term memory loss, so that
That's
might
what the
be a
notes
bit
are
of an
for.
issue. Exactly, but this show is okay. So obviously, everyone's gushing about episode 7. I remember after we finished recording the first episode of the podcast on Dandadan, you were like, "Oh my God!" Word on the streets is that Dandadan episode 7 is peak, and it is peak. But, and this is a good but. I don't think this show is the best thing ever made necessarily because it has peak moments like that. Because obviously that is peak fiction. It's like directed so well, and it's a really good sequence. It really is. But you want to know what really sells this show? It's the moment to moment, the humdrum, the moments that aren't necessarily going to be talked about on Twitter as being the best thing ever. It's that every interaction is perfect. It literally every interaction.
Yeah, this show has peak character acting, and it's keeps it so that way every time there is the non-action scenes, the in between, the humdrum, the normal conversations between the performances and how they animate the characters and how they play off of each other. It's never boring because they're always doing something fun. Like they'll always like do a little funny pose, or they'll interact with each other in a goofy way. Prime
The ramen
example
off.
being yeah. I was gonna say just anytime Momo and Okarun are just having a conversation, they'll insert jokes into it. It's like so natural too, because you've had conversations in real life with friends almost like exactly like them.
It's literally like some of the most casually hilarious moments in fiction. Like, okay, I need to talk about the ramen off because throughout that entire scene, right, it's the beginning of the episode, and they're just slurping ramen, and Momo and Ira are going at it, and each time, like, they slurp the ramen a little more aggressively, and they keep going, and eventually they're talking through the ramen to the point where the show has text on screen showing what they're saying because they're literally incomprehensible otherwise. And then they're like waving their hands to knock away the text and be like, no, I'm gonna argue with my facts and logic, and it's just more text on screen. All while Okarun
Yeah.
is just baffled, just befuddled.
Like, holy shit, 2 girls.
Exactly. Which, by the way, Ira is so good. I love her.
I love how she is both a ditz and like starts off as like a total self-centered bitch who's like crazy delusional, but then
she still is, but the show does this perfectly, right? So Ira, here's my theory about why Ira works so well. Ira is essentially a Chinibyo. Like, not literally one, but she is taking on the role of one, where in her mind, right, so she can finally, she can see ghosts and shit and aliens, right? Because
yeah, because
got
she's got a
hit
hold of
on
one
the
of
head.
Okarun's balls.
I still love that this is the plot of the show.
we gotta find your balls, Okarun. And then we have to throw them back into your crotch.
Oh my god, you reminded me of the batter up. The pitchers getting scared scene as they chuck it into Okarun's crotch. It's so good.
So like, what happens if Seiko were to hit it? Do they just like try again?
Yeah, I would assume so. But I just love it. Like
I
mean,
like
you're
to imagine
questioning
that,
it. I
that
didn't even question it in the moment because it was that fucking funny.
I like to imagine that it was entirely unnecessary, and TurboGrafx could just been like, I'm just gonna like put it up to your junk, and it'll like probably like phase back in. She probably didn't have to like fucking fastball it 100 miles an hour right at his groin, and
Yeah,
they were
but
just
it's
doing it for the funny.
It is exactly the type of thing that Seiko would do.
I would not be surprised if we ever get the second one as near like about as fast as we get this first one back. That it's just like, wait, what do you mean we don't have to play baseball again? You can just do that. You can just put it in just normally.
Yeah, but as I was saying about Ira, right? So she gets hit on the head with one of Okarun's balls, and which she doesn't know. She thinks it is some holy object that, she's the chosen one because she saw some remnants of the fight that Momo and Okarun were having against Turbo Granny in episode 5 on the train. And so she sees some of that. She's like, oh, well, not all of it. She doesn't quite piece together like what exactly is happening. She just sees like a flash, right? So she's like kind of magical a little bit. And so she's like, I'm the main character, which she already had main character syndrome beforehand. But
And
now
I love how
she
they
really
continue to
has
reinforce this in the later episodes whenever Momo's coming up with the plans, to be like, hey, I'm the leader here.
See, what I love about the way they set up Ira for like the first minute of the episode or whatever, or like when they first introduce her, Ira is literally saying like, I'm the prettiest girl ever, everyone loves me, I make their days better just by them looking at me. And I was like, okay, this is a little on the nose. This seems like it's gonna be kind of obnoxious with her repeating it over and over again. And then the show makes me love her anyway, because the reason why they go, so hard to set it up in a very obvious, one would say beating you over the head type way, is so this joke can work immediately. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what you're cooking. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And so we have, along with our cast, this girl with main character syndrome who like wants to take part, and by the end of this block of episodes does have the power to, but up until that point is just kind of along for the ride, useless, but thinks she's hot shit and that she's gonna save the day, and that Momo is a demon.
Hey, and she still thinks that they're all demons by the end
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. I love the bit where she's like, that Seiko can't possibly be your grandmother. She's too pretty and young. And then Seiko's just immediately like, wait, what did you say? You're right. Momo is absolutely a demon. Please exorcise her for me.
I love the bit where, okay, so by the end of episode 7, beginning of episode 8, Ira is in love with Okarun, like explicitly. But it is treated as a complete joke because she she just goes on and on about how, "Oh, I know it's taboo because I'm a human and you're a demon, but my heart just pines for you, Okarun. I can't help it." I also love how she gets her tips for asking out men and seducing them
From porn.
from one of her
From her
from one of her
dad's
dad's,
porn.
yeah.
I fucking laughed out loud when the bit where it's like, I love the 1-2 punch of like, at first you see her like with the headband on, the goofy Japanese, I'm focusing, I'm going in, I'm locking the fucking headband with a mountain of romance books in front of her. And then when Okur's like, where did you get the idea that after you confess to your love, the man has to kiss? Then it just cuts to her like being mesmerized by the porn on the TV.
I cannot get over how every interaction is okay, so I'm gonna try and hone in on the appeal of this show for me, because I've talked a lot about how what makes the perfect show to me isn't necessarily like the one with the most, peak super ultra uber moments, although that does obviously help. It's the one with the right texture, I think. The one with the right combination of elements that pushes my buttons in the right way. Where I was talking about how Oshinoko Season 2, right? for you it was a 10 out of 10 because you couldn't see anything wrong with it, any major flaws. But for me, my argument as to why it was a 9 for me was because it doesn't push my buttons enough. It isn't specifically appealing to me in a way that nothing else can. It's just a really solidly crafted and, admittedly very unique, very specific show. I don't think anything else does Oshinoko at all. Oshinoko is the only show that does it like that. But at the same time, it's not necessarily as appealing to me as other shows like Dragon Maiden, Barakamon, and Sangatsu no Lion and all that. This show pushes my buttons. This show is, I love it. It's perfect for me. We're
this
made
show
for each other.
is a big vibe. It's
like it's the same feeling I get well, not the same feeling, but like, the same way in which Dragon Maid's interactions feel so tailored to me and so perfect and so entertaining. This show has like that same quality to it.
I get major regular show and Gumball vibes from the show. Not just because because like the humor is like kind of similar. Yeah, obviously it'll never go into any like massive fourth wall breaks like shows like those will, but it's the vibe. It's the chilled out, hey, we're all like bros, we're all friends, we're all goofing off. This is how real human people would act with each other because you've been around them so long that you know all their quirks and you just play off of them. Whereas other shows with similar levels of action, but not as much like character interaction like this. Like a recent example relevant to the podcast, Bleach. We just got done recently watching like 10 plus about like 10 episodes of Bleach, and like the action when it happens, in that particular block that we did for the Arrancar arc that we covered, it wasn't the peak of action in the show so far, but like even at the show's peak of its action that we've experienced so far, pardon me, like the character moments, the in-betweeny moments, the downtime between the big action stuff, it's not always the most memorable. Sometimes it's kind of flat. Sometimes it's kind of like, okay, it's time for the story to move us along to the next action set piece. Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where sometimes it's not all bad, but it's like it's doing the bare minimum. It's like this is like the bare minimum amount of like quality and effort in the writing and the presentation that we're doing in order to keep the viewer invested into the next big action set piece. That never happens in Dandadan because there's no need for there's no need for the show to feel like it needs to hurry us along to the next action set piece to like get a pulse of excitement, because the whole show it has its fingers on my pulse and be boosting it into the happiness, because the whole show will put a smile on my face, and then when it wants to, it'll rip that smile off violently, and like Sandy did that one tattoo of the mom heart fish dude, turn it upside down and goes wow, and then he does that with my mouth and made it turn into a sad face when episode 7 happened.
Yes, I guess you want to just get right into that.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes we're being formally now introduced to Ira, who we last saw her in the last block of episodes was trying to put the Riz on Okaroon, but she was kind of being a fake bitch about it. And Momo was like, oh, I ain't having none of that. No one's going to emotionally manipulate and abuse my best friend but me. And then drops the wash tub on her head. And so because now we know Ira has the testicle in her possession. And then she's thinking, wait, what the hell? How'd she do that with those demon wings? Oh, she must be a devil of some kind. I need to go full Chainsaw Man on her ass and exercise that bitch. So she gets her friends to tie her up to perform an exorcism. Pardon me. and Momo's fighting back. Okarun is able to find them, but this whole time, Ira has been seeing a lady in red, a weird ghost, and now the ghost has caught up to them, and her name is Acrobatic Silky, and her goal is to get Ira to call her mommy because presumably she is Ira's deceased mother returned as a ghost, and she's just trying to reconnect with her daughter. That's what the show leads you to believe at first. But something's off about the whole thing. Even as a ghost, Ira does not recognize her at all. Like, nothing about her reminds her of her actual dead mother. And so Silky, in a fit of rage, eats her. And oh, hold on, I need to take a sip of water. I'm getting over a sickness,
God.
and if it's talking this long is drying it out. 1 second. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so Silky eats her, eats Momo and Okarun too, but the lighter that quick aside too, the bit with the lighter constantly being brought up as oily. I love that we get a payoff to that where we find out that the cross that Ira has is actually a lighter the whole time and is used to set Acrobatic Silky's hair on fire.
This show is
so
great with Chekhov's gun. Like
I know.
It's so good. I love
And
that
like
moment.
every little thing leads it, and then because she set the hair on fire, caused it to frizz out. Now when she uses her hair to like swing around like Spider-Man, now it because it's all frizzy and tangled, it like gets entangled up into the like steel beams of this gym that they're in, and so like it limits her movement. And so they have a whole fight. They beat her. They like beat her up. She's defeated. But whoopsie doopsie, Ira's fucking dead. Because when a normal person gets eaten by a ghost, unless they have super duper pooper scooper psychic powers like Momo and Okarun do, then she done. She fucking funzo dunzo. But then Silky is like, hey, wait, don't let her die, please. I will give up my own aura to her so that way she will come back to life and I will fade away into the nothingness. And so we get the first of many raw moments in this episode where Momo's like, yeah, right, you just tried to, we literally saw you eat her a while ago, so you're just trying to use this as an excuse to eat her again, probably to get your strength back. And then, without even hesitating, Silky rips apart her own jaws, like 5 to 10 times their length, completely a bloody mess, rips them apart, being like, there, I can't eat anything anymore. And like, if you still don't believe me, smash my fucking head in with this steel beam, and then you could still perform the aura transfer, if you don't trust me. And I was like, holy shit.
Are you waiting for me to comment?
Yes.
No comments. I think you got basically everything I would have mentioned.
I was actually trying to give you a chance to comment so I could give my throat a chance to rest.
Okay, well then I'll try and pick up the plot recap from you, because I see you're maybe not having the best time. Right, so afterwards, oh fuck, my brain just fucking collapsed. Okay, yeah, so Momo does end up transferring the aura and, using it to revive Ira, but through this, the memories of how Sarasa, became this monster, both Momo
Is that her
and
name?
Ira I think it's the Japanese word for what the fuck is the I forgot the English one already.
I don't remember her ever being officially name dropped. I thought they just called her Silky the whole time.
What the fuck is it? Because I think I saw it on Annie list. Acrobatic Sarasa, so that's where I got it from. That's the name as it's listed on Annie list. It also has as other names, the Japanese one, Acrobatic Silky and Acro Silky.
Okay, yeah, my Netflix subtitles just called her Acrobatic Silky, or would occasionally shorten it to Acro Silky.
Yeah, so Sarasa, as it turns out, she is a single mother, or was rather, in her past life. A single mother trying to raise her daughter while being horribly in debt to the Yakuza. Not a great position to be in, obviously. And it's
I
told
love how the first introduction we get to it when we see her memories after at the start of the episode we get like the vision of her like running out in the rain and like
that
in live
moment was
action
great.
in first person view while like constant shake low FPS shaky cam
It reminds me of like
and we're
the
like,
opening scene of the Chainsaw Man anime. Like it's the
oh yeah,
same
you're
technique.
right.
Yeah, so we get the first person view, and then we do get that later on in the flashback when it comes full circle.
Yeah, and
But
then I
it
love how the
shows
first thing we see from Momo's perspective when she taps into Silky's memories is her at a fucking love hotel, like fresh after doing the deed for money. And it's like, oh, shit's about to get too real.
yeah, so it shows the life and times of her and this child that they're raising. Or not they. It's only it's only one. It's just her. But no, they have some happy moments, but it's also clear that she is working her ass off. I love the moment where she's asleep and the child is like trying to wake her up to play, and she like at some point does wake up, but then is pretending to still be asleep, and so suddenly jumps up and, surprises her. That was really
It
sweet.
reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen Ponyo.
No, I have not.
There's this cute moment in Ponyo where Sosuke, the main character kid, his mom is like laying down, upset that her husband slash his father couldn't come home that night because they were out on an extended fishing job because he works as a fisherman. And so she was expecting her to come home, or expecting him to come home rather, and so she was like really sad about it and upset. And Sasuke being like, "Oh, he's only working so because he loves us and wants the best for us," and to see how kind and considerate his her kid is, she gets up from her bed and like wraps him up in a big fucking hug. It's really cute and adorable. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, but no, obviously, we're just waiting for the moment it all goes to shit, because it does very much go to shit. Oh, I'm rewatching the moment. I'm remembering like the really impressive shot where it's like the camera's panning through all the different scenes over the candles of the birthday cake. This scene is like really well animated, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. It goes hard with the animation.
As is the rest of the show. But yeah, this is where Dandadan crosses into cinema.
Yeah, like the show overall is very consistent. Uh
Like this whole sequence could be a fucking award-winning short film.
it really could. But yeah, after that we get the hard cut into the Yakuza taking her child away from her and killing her. Well, not directly trying to, but she's like desperate to keep her child, and they're like, "No, fuck you," and push her into, I think it was the glass door, which shatters and then impales her. So she's not having a fun time.
Yeah, I love how even though like we've seen some dismemberment, so like characters getting cut in half in the show with like lasers and shit. I love how that's like the most violently gruesome that the show has gotten so far. Where it's not the supernatural ghost and alien fights. It's it's domestic abuse and just getting a normal ass person throwing another normal person through glass, and we see all the glass shards impaling her like deeply.
Well, yeah, because the like actual fights in the show, and I'll get into this more later because there is a very lengthy one in the latter two episodes. But they have a very like goofy tone to them. They are serious, Like, people are seriously in danger, but it's about, just the freneticness and fun of seeing the strategies of the main characters unfold and the wackiness of the scenarios they're in, which, contrasted against this, once again, you said normal person just dying in a very tragic way. Yeah, it very much interrupts the flow of things tonally, but in a good way.
Yeah,
And
like, and the fucked up part is she didn't even die to the injuries. She fucking threw herself off the top of a building.
yeah, shit's rough. Although the way, God, like her doing the fucking ballerina dance over the water, in the yeah, I'm watching it right now. Like the super starry sky city behind her. It's gorgeous. It's
You could
gorgeously
tell that, like,
rendered.
yeah, and this is right after, like, she still tries to like, you'd think she'd be like, "Oh, I have so much glass in me, I'm bleeding, I'm fucking, like, my eye is fucked up, I'm, like, I can't fucking move," like, no, the power of her loving mother heart, like, her motherhood is at stake here, so she bursts out the apartment door in a fucking, like, frenzy, a panicked frenzy, trying to track down the Yakuza guys still, even though they'd like, in all likelihood, if they even if she caught up to them, they just beat her ass again. Maybe this time actually kill her. But she can't find them. She's like, oh, and like that. You could like at the start of the dance scene on the roof, like you could tell like, oh, her mind is broke. She's like already decided what she's going to do now.
Yeah, and this lends itself to what I assume will be a through line going forward, because we also had it in the first arc, where the spirits specifically, not the aliens so far, although I'm sure they'll do something similar to this with them at some point. Well, maybe not. Maybe not those aliens, the ones with the robo-dicks, but maybe a different kind of alien will have a tragic backstory of some kind. But with the spirits specifically, they oftentimes have, reasons why they can't rest, like tragic stories behind them, and it lends itself to a more emotional edge of the show. And here it's done really well, and I've heard that it's a very creative adaptation of what was initially a much shorter sequence in the manga.
Ooh, I have to. Damn, now I have to read to where the anime is up to this point, so I can see how peak the adaptation is.
I already want to read the manga.
Well, hey, I'm glad that we don't have to wait long. We only have to wait till summer of next year to pick up where we left off. Once we
Otherwise I might
finish
not
the
have had the
season.
self-control to keep myself away from it.
And all of this gets brought to a head where after Momo successfully transfers the rest of Silky's aura into Ira to bring her back to life, she starts breaking apart to ashes and like fading away. And Turbo Granny is like, oh yeah, she's dying with regrets after giving up her own aura, so she's going to get like she's just basically like permadeath, like in no afterlife. She's going to the void. There's like all total darkness. It'll be like she never existed, and heavily implying that everyone on Earth is just going to forget that she ever existed. Which I thought was just a tad bit confused. So I was like, are they just gonna memory wipe Momo, Okaroon, and Ira? Is it?
I do not believe so. I'm not sure. Did they mention did they mention Sarasa after that episode?
Well, they did. I was just saying that if Ira didn't do
Yeah.
what she did, which I'm about to talk about, would they have just straight up forgotten everything that transpired with her? Would they like Men in Black neuralize themselves because of it?
I'm not sure.
But you know what? I guess either way, it's a moot point because this is where Ira becomes peak. And then this is where she becomes a beloved character and redeems herself for all the shit that she's done so far. Where we find that, like, at the deep down, she is genuinely a good person despite her Chunibyo tendencies where Turbo Granny's like, well, Silky's gonna die with regrets, and she's gonna be cursed to be forgotten and just die in the void. And so the whole time, Silky rather, wanted Ira to call her mommy because she was convinced that Ira was her kid. Because like the time when she was recently became a ghost because she died with regrets, and that's how ghosts and yokai usually appear, is when a person dies with regrets still that they have not finished in their mortal life. And so as what's the fuck is the name of the ring ghost that comes out of the VHS tape? Sonico, yeah, as a Sonico looking ass ghost. For whatever reason, Ira as a child saw her and called her mommy by mistake because Ira's mom died just like natural causes, I presume, and when she was a young babby. And so when Silky as a ghost saw this happen to her, she was like, oh wait, that's right, I remember what my thing was now. I need to keep my daughter safe. That was my daughter. Ira, she's my daughter. And that was like fine now that she's finally able to see her because of Okarune's testicle. She was like, yo, please just call me mommy and my soul can finally rest. And so Ira, now with that knowledge, now even though she wasn't her real mom at any point, just giving her like the satisfaction of, so she won't, die with regrets into nothingness. She runs up to her as she's fading away, hugs her, calls her mommy, and tells her that she loves her so she can pass on to a kinder world in peace.
I can see now why the word on the streets is that episode 7 was peak.
Yeah, it's just kind of a peak from start to finish, that whole episode.
As if it isn't true for the entire show as well.
True, but it's peak for a different reason. The up to this point, the show was peak because it was both funny and had good action. Now it has it can pull out good drama whatever it wants to.
Yeah, so this takes us on to the next arc, which is primarily a fight between a bunch of different aliens. They lock down the school, make it complete void realm outside, and it's Momo and Ira and Okarune stuck fighting a bunch of different aliens. One of them looks like the Loch Ness monster. One of them is a punchy boy. He's got boxing gloves. And then there's the penis aliens.
the trio of penis aliens.
Shit gets
but
wild.
we also can't forget that now we've inserted I was a little worried that something like this was going to happen, but the way they addressed it as soon as they did, I appreciate it. It was when they do the forced misunderstanding trope between Momo and Okarune.
Yeah, I thought it would bother me. It does not. It doesn't really bother me too much. And the reason why is because the arc, I mean, the show is about, it's a romance at the end of the day. And a high school one, it's contrasting the low stakes romance against the high stakes alien, wacko encounters. And
hey man, you say low stakes, and I know what you mean by like the world does not hinge on these two getting together, but god damn it, I want them to.
well, same, obviously. So high stakes for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole misunderstanding of Okarune lied to Momo about wanting to hang out, so in actuality he can train himself to be strong enough to protect her from future attacks. But then Ira comes along, tries to confess her love to Okarune and kiss him. They get into a little squabble. Then the anime thing happens where he falls on top of her in a presumptuous, provocative pose, and Momo walks in on them. And now she's thinking, oh, you two are making out behind my back, huh? I thought what we had was special.
Yeah, but the arc is sort of about Okarun being like, Bitch, just listen to me. Hold on, I have an explanation. Don't be so presumptuous about what happened, man.
Yeah,
Don't
you
let the
stupid
anime
bitch.
misunderstanding happen."
I, I love how during the fight, like while they're running from the mantis shrimp punches, they just stop like mid fight and just have that argument in the water, being like, "Hey, like please listen to me. If it bothers you that much, let me explain myself. Because I like you being. I don't care if anyone else is like gets misunderstands like what we have together, but I will be upset if you misunderstand what we have together." And like the fucking like look of like, oh, he's like serious and actually cares about my feelings that Momo gives to him when he says that. Ooh, peak, peak, peak.
Yeah, dude, I love earlier. I forgot to mention this, but earlier in the arc, there's the moment where Okarun's like, a classmate is like, "Hey, can you hook me up with Momo? Like, she's pretty cute." And he's like, wait, Momo's cute. Wait, she is? Wait, I didn't even notice this whole time." You like can't even look at her anymore.
It's like, wait, now that I've
Literally, like
had
they're sitting
a
next to each other
I've
on a
had
bench,
third
and
party
he's, like, looking
confirmation.
away.
I got the doctor's second opinion. Oh my god, she is cute. And then immediately after, when he's like, "Oh well, if you're not dating her, can I, tap that ass? Because I'm like, everyone knows she's a total slut hoe and will whore herself out to anyone." And then Okarun just goes full Chad mode, being like, "What the fuck did you just say about my main squeeze?"
Yeah, and so back to this fight. What I love is that, no pun intended, it is total bananas. It is fucking insane.
Yeah, the aliens turn not just the floor, but the entire like all the walls and the ceiling into bodies of water.
Yeah, just so much shit happens. There's so many funny moments in this fight too. The super crusty zoom in on Momo whenever Ira, does anything to her man. Her fucking man. Ira is stepping into her turf. How could she?
I love how it ends with the same gag every time, when she falls over, breaks her psychic concentration to ward off the aliens trying to exert their psychic powers, when they cause them to untransform.
Yeah, fights in this show are just so watchable. Like they have an energy to them. They're very funny, very fun, very frenetic. And the characters are facing like life-threatening situations, and it is kind of easy to forget that sometimes because they do quip so much and they are so ridiculous. But I also love the moment after the fight is done, where the water clears up, they're back at school again, and Momo and Okarun. And oh god, I feel like I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but in a great scene, uh, Momo and Okarun have like the same misunderstanding Okarun on top of Momo thing that he had with Ira. Basically confirming to Momo like like something like this happens maybe. There's some kind of alternate explanation. But it's also while they're like just clutching the floor like, "Oh my god, it's so perfect."
Yeah, we're out of the
Finally.
water. The hardness of the ground. It's the hallway. We're back. It's she's like, "Thank you, hallway." And
And
they
obviously the
joke,
entire
they bring it up in universe, be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, hallway." Like, I don't know. It's just fucking hilarious, man. Oh, they're so good for each other.
Yeah, then obviously the whole school is like, "Oh my god. They're banging in the
They's be
halls."
fucking. They fucking.
And I love when the running away Ira also joins in from another hall. And is like, "Oh my god, I'm back. We're back at school."
I love her little goofy ass run to catch up to them too, where she just like has her arms up to her face and they like shaking them side to side, like not doing like a. She's not pumping her arms like Hammer. She's just like a like a prissy princess.
I also love how
And
for
the,
the entire fight, Okarun is naked and like at first is like mortified by this, and instead of joining Ira in the fight, is searching for clothes. And I was like, "What the fuck, man? No, hold on, help me out!" And then eventually, they're all stripping. Momo tells Ira to strip because it'll reduce their drag in water. So it's ridiculous. It's insane.
yeah, and definitely not an excuse for the author to be like, all right, how can I get Momo and Ira in a state of undress?
You know, something that I do respect about this show is that sexuality is, obviously a part of the themes being a rom-com set in high school, but also like you don't get any like pervy shots, I guess. The
Yeah,
characters are naked, but it's treated pretty matter of factly and for comedic
yeah, like because
purposes.
every time we've seen Momo in a state of undress, like she's not wearing anything sexy. There's like no
It's just like
shots. Like she,
normal high schooler underwear. Like it's
yeah,
it's
it
it's not
kind of
like
looks like
lingerie or anything.
granted I could be wrong about this. You know, it's obviously not lingerie like how Ira's wearing. It looks kind of like almost like a training or a push-up bra. And like the same with the underwear. It's like it's nothing fan. It's just like casual ass, normal, unsexy underwear.
Yeah, it is something I kind of respect about the show, where, it can have these comedic moments dealing with sex and sexuality, but it doesn't necessarily have to, like, shove it in the audience's face, be aroused.
Well, yeah,
Coom
you know, you
now.
say that, Crunchy, but then we also have to acknowledge that scene in episode 6 where Ira shoves Okarun's balls all over Momo's face.
True, that did happen. Well, balls singular,
And you
only
know,
one.
Momo was like, "Ew, gross! That's you perv, get that off me." But inside, she was like, "Yes, yes, yes."
I cannot get over the shot where Okarun's like, "All right, I'm gonna go full force in the water," and then he immediately sinks to the bottom. And for a minute, you're like, "Wait, what happened?" And then the camera pans down to his silhouette, running on like a 3-frame animation cycle, going back and forth. He's just running
He's just
underwater while drowning.
running in place,
Well, yeah, literally not moving at all.
and then the
I
fucking reaction Momo has be like, "Huh?"
it's like this fight. I feel like this is the fight that proves that this show can just make anything fun. Like any old fight will be the most fun thing ever because there's so many twists and turns. Like everything turning to water, fucking that running, the aliens merging. Like so much shit happens in in these 2 episodes. Like the fight is just insane, but I love it. Oh god, I burped.
Yeah, everything about the show has continued to be its normal, enjoyable self. It's nonstop dopamine. Like the mere act of watching it puts me in a good mood. Then nothing about it is bad. Nothing about it is upsetting. Like the one time I thought it was going to veer into melodrama territory with the forced misunderstanding gets cleared up, and then it also is made easier to swallow by the fact that Momo's not like fuming about it. She just kind of gets mad depressed.
Yeah, she just solemnly looks at the mantis shrimp, which is another setup, by the way. Yet another Chekhov's gun being cocked. Because then when they all fuse together as the Loch Ness Monster behemoth thing, it also has the mantis shrimp punches from the one alien. But then she like uses her powers to clear out the water, and then the force of it fucking destroys itself. Like there's just once again Chekhov's gun all the way, every single moment. Also, once again, proving that this show can use CG relatively tastefully, where, most of the time the aliens are poorly lit, and the one that they do use CG on is all black and, in a dark hallway, and so they're sort of covering up their tracks, and it's not even every shot, and then they fuse into not CG. So, they do a good job with it. I am not mad about the CG usage in this block of episodes either. And every other monster is fully animated.
Yeah, I'm just I want to finish the show now, so now I could be like at hit peak excitement for season 2.
Neon, it has been over a year and a half since I've given out a 10 out of 10 when I watched Dragon Maid season 2. Look, I'm not gonna call it too soon. There's still 3 episodes to watch. They could suddenly be the worst thing ever. But
Maybe
I'm
that one character
hopeful.
from the OP we haven't met yet with the orange bowl cut. Maybe he's like the worst thing to happen to anime since I don't know, fucking the localization of the popularization of anime to the mainstream.
There we go. Yeah,
uh
I do wonder what his deal is. And I'm also glad that season 2 has been announced so soon because I was kind of concerned about him not showing up for so long.
According to the poster, he's like put in the forefront, so maybe the second season's gonna feature him prominently.
Yeah, but considering how well this show has done with it's now 3 main characters, like, I love them all. I literally every single one. Everything Ira does is hilarious and lovable, and I don't care if she's a narcissist. She's my narcissist, damn it.
I love the little moment they have when they're fighting to she and Okarun are fighting together in their transformed states, and Okarun's holding her like a dancer, and then they do a little pose together after they beat up with the alien they're fighting.
And Momo is molding behind them.
When did you guys get so chummy? Yeah, the
It's
show's
just
great.
good.
It is, in fact, amazing.
I think it's gonna be anime of the year. I don't want to call it too soon, but it's gonna be anime of the year, probably. It is currently
It's
mine.
it's got some stiff competition. If it can nail the ending, for the season, I'm ready to give it a 10. Like it's definitely at the very, very, very worst. It's cannot anyone who gives it lower than a 9 is full of shit.
The last 3 episodes could be complete shit, and it'd probably still be a 9 at this point. Like I really do have faith in it, and according to people who have read the manga, in fact, it probably only gets better from here.
Listen, all I know is that if we season 2 has that one scene where of the manga panels that I showed you of Momo's
Oh,
hand tap
yeah.
dancing on Okarun's fingers, then then the show will finally reach enough peak that it sends all viewers who watch it into nirvana.
It's the best show. But can the same be said about Mecha-Ude?
I will say this block of Mecha-Ude episodes was better than the last one because
It
now we're
was?
getting into a more consistent plot.
I thought it was actually the opposite, where my interest was waning throughout this block of episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I have come to a realization about this show. I do not like how it tells its story. I really do not. And the reason why is because it's a lot of things being exposited to us and not in a way that makes me care about them.
Oh yeah, that part is lame. The show does not know how to interestingly tell a story without having to dive into a isn't this like twice now that fucking Fist, the blue version of Alma on the arms leader dude, had to tell uh Hikaru and Alma and thus the audience about like past events
Dude,
to
I'm not gonna
explain.
lie, our arms leader dude, I like. Okay, so he's the guy who has like the twist at the very end of the episode 9, right?
Yeah, where he's
I straight up
actually.
forgot who he was when I entered this block of episodes. And then I was like, oh, wait, he was a character. And then he has like a huge twist to him. And I was like, wait, I forgot he was in the show up until like today.
I will say I never saw the twist of him being Yakumo, the Alma's former partner, before, but at the same time they don't really drop any hints to clue you in on that, because you don't understand who Yakumo really is until episode, well, which episode was it that we get the flashback in? 7, where, and then the twist happens in episode 9, and I'm pretty sure we see like 0 of the guy in between those two moments.
This feels like a 24 episode show being condensed to 12. It really does.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
There are a lot of characters, a lot of villains, and it feels like you want to know what fucks me up about this? I feel like there's a very earnest who the fuck is the script writer or scenario writer for this, cuz I need to figure out who they are. But it feels like whoever that guy is had a very well thought out coherent world in their mind. All right, so Sai Akamoto or Okamoto has original plan, director credits. Series composition is Yasuhiro Nakanishi, but that's like taking instructions from the director typically, if I recall correctly. They don't necessarily have as much creative control over the plot, so it's looking like it's Sai Okamoto, if I had to guess based on me researching this right now on the spot. Probably should have done this before the show, but it is what it is.
Wow, so you're telling me a woman can't tell a story
Shut the
without
fuck
going
up,
on a
Neon.
long-winded
Jesus
expository?
Christ! Neon!
Without going on a long-winded tangent?
Well, see, it feels like she had a very coherent story in her mind that would have been a lot more long-spanning. And then she's told 12 episodes. And instead of being like, all right, I'm gonna just tell, like, the most impactful stories from all my ideas and only put in the most impactful characters and make them leave, an impression on the viewer. Let's
She
just
was
have
more
fucking
like,
all of it. All
yeah,
of
like,
it.
no, I still want to tell my whole story, so I'll just have to clumsily exposit all of my lore in the same way, exact same way twice.
Yeah, the reason why I feel like this block of episodes is significantly worse than the prior one is just because that problem with the show has become so much more solidified. It has become the thing holding it back, where it's like, I'm not sure how much of this I'll even remember in a fucking few months from now, because it's all
It's
just
definitely the
bam, bam,
worst
bam,
part of
bam,
the
bam.
show, but I still think like the action has gotten a little better. We were now getting focused arcs now. We were wrapping up the whole thing with Amaryllis and
But
Aki's
I
sister
also don't
Fubuki.
think the way that arc wrapped up was all that interesting. Like, it's fine, it's whatever. It did what it needed to do to wrap up, but okay, so the most interesting thing going out of the last block of episodes was the idea of Aki and how the fuck am I forgetting the
Hikaru?
main character, Hikaru. I can't believe I forgot his name. But yeah, Hikaru and Aki fighting, and like Aki being put in this really strained moral dilemma where it's like, do I kill my friends to save my sister, or let my sister die to save my bro, my dude, my future boyfriend? But instead,
I do
actually-
love the little moment at first where Aki's like, Hikaru, you have to come with me. And Hikaru just like, oh yeah, of course I'll come with you, my friend Aki, who
Yeah.
certainly has no ill intentions for me.
yeah,
And
it's-
even after the brief little scuffle they have when Aki's like, I'm gonna take you by force whether you like it or not, Hikaru's like, yo, I don't care if you like, you that's completely unnecessary, bro. I'll come with you regardless. because I'm your friend, and that's what friends do. They help each other out.
Yeah, but the reveal ends up being that the worm Mecha-Ude just possesses people, and so Amaryllis is the Mecha-Ude's name, if I recall correctly. And so she is possessing Aki's sister, and admittedly, the design is really fucking cool. I love when Aki's sister's eyes, like one of her eyes lights up pink, and she has like the pink veins going towards it with the robot arm. Dude, it's a really good villain design. But I don't care that much. I don't think her as a villain is that compelling as a character. More as an idea and an aesthetic is where I think she excels as a villain. In the actual writing department, I just don't feel
Well, yeah,
that
because
much.
her goal is to just be like the most powerful Mecha-Ude, and she needs Alma to do that. Like she didn't. I love how sadistic she is. I love how she like has no qualms about taking over all these different people, including Aki's sister, and even like multiple times, even though she's already revealed to Aki that she's just been puppeteering Fubuki this whole time completely. She's had no control of her actions this whole time. Even then, she makes Fubuki cry and be like, "Big sister, please help me." And then like that gets Aki off her guard so she can ambush her one more time. Be like, "Wow, you really are stupid." Like using her love for her sister against her.
Yeah. I do like the element of that fight where, they're trying not to hurt Fubuki, and so they have to be careful about how they attack Amaryllis. But on the flip side, I would like to bring to light another issue with this show. Bro, Hikaru's power is so boring. Because
Yeah.
visually, it is cool, it is stunning, it is epic. But mechanically,
All he does is
Adama,
punch.
Adama is a win button. He has all the Arbitrium, and so whenever he has Adama, he's just like, all right, bro, I'm gonna give you all my Arbitrium, and then I win. The end. It's literally
Yeah.
just a win button. And once I realized that this show is not going to have a training arc, there's not going to be any strategy to the fights beyond the win button. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, well, why should I care? You're just going to press the win button.
I feel like the worst example of that too is when out of fucking nowhere during, I know it's jumping ahead, but during the big fight with Aldera, which is like the primordial Mecha-Ude, who also controls the portal between the human world and the Mecha-Ude world, and they're all fighting that when Hikaru powers up even more, he goes even further beyond than he's ever gone beyond before. He just increases Alma's size to like he's now like a fucking boulder.
Dude, like, it's such a cool moment visually and even somewhat, like, directorially, and it gets to me a little. It's, like, kind of breathtaking in the moment, but
But
when you
yeah, like
take a step
it's
back,
cool on paper, but then I like, since when the fuck could he do that?
like, at least with Bleach covered its tracks a little. It at least gave some context to Ichigo powering up randomly, and he was able to, that show gave him some more, like, it felt like he at least had to work a little bit towards it. Here, it's literally just the win button. Like, they're not even pretending. And his Arbitrium is
Yeah.
just however much it needs to be to win the fight.
His Arbitrium is the most and the best. The only time that I liked that being a part of his character is when Amaryllis has a hold of him and she's trying to drain all the Arbitrium out of his body, and then he just pulls like, "Oh, you want my Arbitrium? Fine, you can take it." And then he overloads her.
The most tension I felt for Hikaru was when he was trying to save Aruma, because then he doesn't have his win button, and he needs to retrieve the win button. And then he retrieves the win button and beats the primordial Mecha-Ude that almost seemingly killed Yakumo. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, he's still standing. He still has energy at all compared to Yakumo. How he just has the win button.
Yeah. Although you did remind me of like my actual biggest problem with the show so far. Uh, boy howdy, are these like the most incompetent villains I've seen in anime in the longest time?
Bro, I'm gonna have trouble remembering who the fuck half the villains are because they introduce quite a few new ones in this block of episodes, and some of them, boy howdy, do they not leave an impact. The one dude who, I actually kind of like this dude. He just kind of doesn't give a shit. His entire character revolves around not giving a fuck and just wanting money, and so he like kind of he half fights, and he seems like he's gonna be a threatening force later, but then once shift is up, he leaves. But then Aki has a fight with him, but it does not go much of anywhere. Let's see. There's the girl with the black hair. I like her design. She does not do much. I I she's just kind of there.
That kind of goes for a lot of the villains. I like their design. A sniper girl, I like her design. She does not do much.
Exactly. Let's see. There's the big guy who revives the primordial Mecha-Ude. He was on the plane going away with Aruma, and he loses him. And that's it.
And he's, I just can't get over how incompetent they all are. Like, I thought they would be like, they're supposed to be like the Kagami group, the rich tech business that's like running the whole city. You'd think they'd have, and like who have like controlled the Mecha-Ude and figured out technology to like force them to be their puppets. You would think that if them being so like powerful and controlling, they'd be a lot more competent and threatening. But they just kind of get punked like really easily. Like fucking scientist dude from the arms of what was his name? Quen. He makes himself like a new Mecha-Ude, and like it's all played as a joke. Like no one ever takes the villain seriously. He like gets a big Mecha-Ude, he fights for like a minute, and then he runs out of energy, and then the goth girl with the dart minigun just shoots at him again, and it's not played as a thing like, oh shit, like now they have the advantage again. It's just oh shit, I need to comically run away from this line of fire. Like this is like it's Dandadan, but it's completely missing the point of Dandadan, where it's like it's trying to go for humor, but it maintains the stakes and the seriousness of like the what's going to happen to these characters. Whereas they do this gag with the shooting girl twice, and like at no point do you feel like the characters are in any actual like real danger.
This actually, I was thinking about this, about why Dandadan's fights work so much better. Because Dandadan, doesn't have a training arc either. So theoretically, you're like, oh, well, he also has a win button. If you're stupid, you'd say that. You'd say, oh, he just uses his powers and just wins, and he doesn't have to. Well, first of all, he is kind of actively training, but there admittedly isn't much emphasis on it right now. But where that show excels and makes it actually work is that each fight feels like a massive struggle, where there has to be strategy going on as to how they beat.
And he can't spam his win
animals.
button because if he uses it right now more than twice, his body will fucking explode.
Exactly. And also, there are moments where they do get like really, really fucked for a little bit. Like, when they get fucking eaten, all three of them. And the tide of the battle has like completely changed, and they're like on the defense. Or I guess not even really on the defense, but fucking swallowed. And then, it's only through the Chekhov's gun of, actually, I can light you on fucking fire, that they, get out of that situation. So it
Meanwhile, what
does
are the strategies being implemented into the fights in Mecha-Ude?
punch
Don't get
harder.
hit. Punch harder.
Like, Dandadan's fights, by contrast, are so dynamic, and like I can remember so much more about them because I can remember like how the tide of battle changed on a moment to moment. Even Bleach, like that show isn't super strategy heavy, fucking at all, but it's still like I can remember the emotions and stakes of each fight because they're well set up. Whereas with this show, it's kind of just like it's kind of just white noise.
Yeah, the
It's just
fights in this show have increased only in spectacle rather than like strategy. I feel like we outside of strategy, we've not gone beyond episode 2 where they're getting attacked by the sniper and Soundwave duo, and we get the Chekhov's gun of Hikaru using his noise canceling headphones to block out the sound so he can beat up the Soundwave guy, so that way Aki can fend off the sniper.
here's a question, Neon. What the fuck are the themes of this show?
Well, I can explain that pretty easily, Crunchy. The themes are the no one is unimportant, everyone you stick by your friends, no one is an island. It's basic. It's a basic shonen stuff, but
Well,
uh
here's my next question. What the fuck about these themes have developed past like episode what the fuck? I mean, I guess you could technically say that the stuff with Aki was thematically relevant, where she tried to isolate herself from Hikaru, and he was like, I'm gonna
and
go
then Alma
after
tried to
her."
isolate himself from Hikaru, but he's just too much of a good shonen boy that he won't leave his
But
friends behind.
is that progression of the themes, or is that just reiterating them? I feel like we've been thematically the same since like episode 3.
I suppose the nicest, if I can play devil's advocate, the nicest thing I can say about it is the way they tackle like how each person tries to leave Hikaru behind is different. Like how Aki is leaving him behind because like deep down she actually does care about him, but at the same time she doesn't want to be pitied. And she doesn't want like to feel like weak enough that someone has to like reach out their hand to lift them up. They want to be, self-sufficient. They want to be an island because if they're not an island, then that means they're vulnerable and weak. Whereas Alma left because he's like, no, this is my struggle. You don't have to burden it, Hikaru. I dragged you into this. Now you can live a normal life if I just go off on my own. Now that I have this ability to go off on my own, because I got my memories back. But then Hikaru uh inserts himself back into it. It's like, well, you know what? It became my thing. It became my fight the moment we met. So you can't really leave me out of it anymore.
I
And
guess that's fair.
I did. There was one piece of writing that I did like that was genuinely good, where when Alma leaves and Hikaru's down in the dumps, it's Aki who is like, I've been holding back this whole time. Like, you have to go help him, and I'm gonna help you because you two are friends. And guess what, Hikaru? I'm your friend too. And it's like the first time Aki like actually acknowledges their friendship outside of just like, oh, I'm your escort. No, like I'm your friend, bitch.
Yeah, I guess that's all fair, but it just feels like there's
You are
not
right in
much
your
meat on
criticism
this
that it doesn't
bone.
really like it does kind of feel a little samey. Like I said, I was playing devil's advocate by saying like the way that they're exploring these themes is kind of silly. Like I can only imagine that they're gonna have to tie it all together with Yakumo and him being like, "You left me behind, Alma. You when you thought I was dead the whole time, when really I was alive the whole time."
Just kind of don't give a shit, if I'm being honest.
The show does not do a good job of making you care, I will say.
Well, see, I cared at the beginning because it's really charming. I like the interactions. It's just that once the stakes get higher and once it actually delves into plot land, that's when you realize that literally the only thing tying this plot together is a fuckload of exposition. And it's just, what's tying that together is flashy, but not very substantive fights. It's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, the only three characters I give a shit about are Hikaru, Alma, and Aki. Everyone else I don't care about. Everyone else is kind of superfluous, which sucks too because I want to care about June, but he just kind of is there and will insert himself into the plot to just make sure that they have one more person on their side. It doesn't feel like he has like a direct impact.
He saved his brother. That is a thing he did. It was very sudden and also was exposited very boringly, but
I actually like perked up my ears a little bit when he's like, I know you're controlling him, Amaryllis. Like, oh, the Amaryllis is still alive this whole time. Oh boy. I thought she was like gonna get taken in by the that post-credit scene where there was like one piece of Amaryllis still alive, but she was actually taking orders from someone. Oh boy, who could that? There's someone who's the man behind the slaughter, who's the one truly pulling the strings. It just turns out to be Amaryllis more again, I guess, unless there's another thing that'll be revealed in the last 3 episodes next time. But the way that he then immediately punks Amaryllis is just kind of, oh, I thought we would like insert one more, like the closest thing the show has had to a villain. I thought we were gonna see the epic comeback, but nope.
Because we've got to focus on Yakumo, bro. The villain we care about a lot. Definitely.
Well, to be fair, while we say it this, we've only now just found out that he's a twist villain. And we'll get to see his deal in the next episode.
If I knew who the guy was before, like, at all. Beyond being like, hey, wait, I kind of remember that guy's face. Wait, do I? Okay, I think I do.
I mean, his design is sick.
Yeah, that's fair. But all the designs in this show are sick. The one black-haired Twin Tails girl is super hot.
I also like the I also appreciate the bit of all of the Kagami Group guys being named after numbers, like 1er, 2s, 3s, I think.
Yeah, but overall, I don't know. This show kind of fell off.
It has sadly fallen off. I'd say right now it's like at best a 6.
I thought you said you liked this block of episodes better than the last one.
I did, but there's still problems with it.
Okay, so we're
like you said,
the problems from last time, as you said. But to
me, like you said,
making them so much clearer as like big issues that will stay. It's just kind of making me care less and less as each episode goes on.
Yeah, like as a collective, I liked these episodes more than the last 4 episodes, but that's mainly because we've now like done away with like the monster of the week type shit to focus on more focused little arcs.
I think this show went from like a light 7 to kind of a light 6 at this point. And if it doesn't,
it's definitely
it's like it's
if the finale is Kino enough, maybe it can jump up to a 7, but right now it's like somewhere like in the 6 out of 10 territory.
Yeah, that's the one issue with pushing ahead the Dandadan episode. Like pushing ahead the podcast to watch Dandadan, because I also have to watch this.
Hey man, we only have to watch 6 episodes total now instead of 8.
I wish those were 6 episodes of Dandadan.
Well, you know what? Maybe if a certain thing happens in 2025, who knows? Maybe we'll get to talk about Dandadan more often and more frequently than previously thought possible. Yeah, that's about all I've got to say about Mecha-Ude. It is kind of a bummer to go from talking about Dandadan for like 50 minutes to talk about Mecha-Ude for about 25.
Mecha-Ude, more like Mid.
Ude.
There we go.
Maybe, hopefully the show will stick the landing.
I don't have faith, but I can dream.
Well, you know what? We're almost at the finish line anyway, so we can get it over with. And if you want to get over it with us, viewers, if you enjoyed the podcast, please give us your thoughts on what we talked about today down in the comments and what you'd like us to talk about in the future. If you want to keep up with Castaway Anime and never miss an episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Crunchy's channel, and check out our socials, all linked in the description below. That'll do her for this episode of Castaway Anime. I'm Neon Manta.
And I'm Crunchy Bagels.
And you'll see us next time.